Hello, we're live. Crypto Talk Now for Utility Talk Now. To be honest, I don't know if that intro even played before the actual show because I just hit the button that said go live. So let me know if the intro played. If it didn't, it's okay. We're not going to push you guys through the whole thing of watching the intro again because we're already here and so on. But if I goofed that up, I goofed it up. It wasn't done intentionally, but I did have it all set to play. Sean's my witness that I did definitely try to get that going. But we did have some technical
Yes,
difficulty. So glad to have Sean, the Crypto Smith, here tonight with you guys. Sean, how you doing?
I am actually doing fairly well. I mean, I could be better, but I'm here. Today is a little crappy weather in Idaho, but we're getting through it. It's all right. How you doing?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I came back earlier from visiting my dad in the hospital. Suck giving the bad news that he's gonna, like I mentioned to you before the show, be there in some kind of form of a hospital, not the actual hospital, but a rehab type hospital for what is it going to be like 4 weeks. So I'm sure he's not really too enthused about that, but you know how it goes. It's heart wrenching because you want to see, like your parents or loved ones and so on be happy, come back home. But if he comes back home at this point, I mean, it's like I don't have any type of IV antibiotic. I guess I could technically do that, but it's just like they were mentioning, it's
Yeah,
not going to be a good thing.
yeah, that's tough. That is tough. When we talked about before, but I wanted to tell you one quick thing about my dad, and I don't know if everybody else knows, but I lost my dad, a year ago this month. Um, and the saddest thing, and I laugh about it now, and me and my mom laugh about it now, but the saddest thing was when he realized, this was months before he passed away, that he couldn't barbecue anymore. Like, that to him was the absolute worst thing possible. Like, he was ready to go that day. And it was, like I said, we laugh about it now because it was just it, but it ended up being those little things, right? He couldn't walk outside to go, start up the grill and cook steak. And that was probably his lowest moment. It was sad for us at the time, and I'm sure I had tears, but we get to look back at some of those things and say, hey, you know what? Dad had a great life. He was a good father. And we'll miss him, but he's definitely doing better now. So, where he's at.
Yeah, I mean that's I think for anybody. I mean, whether it's a barbecue grill or like people enjoy going hunting, fishing, wherever their hobbies are and so on. You take something that means a lot to people,
Yeah.
you take that out of the equation, it could really be life altering. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Well, guys, even with all the down in the dumps news and so on, we do have some good news. Let's turn that frown upside down, as the saying goes. Glad to see everybody here. I'm sure Sean is as well.
Yes. Good to be back.
Yes.
Missed a
And
week, but good to be back.
yeah, it was the whole thing with my dad and even myself at the same time. It was like the worst two-hit combo, no pun intended. But let's go ahead and welcome the first comment of the day. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like. And if you're brand new, consider subscribing and so on. Let's welcome Mr. J Crypto. Says we in here. Thanks for being back here today, Mr. J. Born yesterday, who clearly wasn't born yesterday if he is in the audience with this particular show, and he's into the ISOs, right? So he says he has a serious question about these utility coins. Cool, bring him on. We want that. I'm actually going to pull up some things here in a bit as well. Tim Shea says, "Hey, good to see you, Tim."
It's a good question. I think Max is frozen up, or maybe it's just frozen on mine.
Oh man, something's going on. Are
Yep.
we good?
Yep. I'm back.
That's weird. We're having some technical difficulties tonight, so we apologize for that. let's get back to the question. Do you think investing in ISO 222 coins is anti-ethical to human freedom? I know where he's going with this in regards to the whole thing, like, the Ved economic form,
Well, yeah, and that is a great question, by the way. Antithetical, however you want to say it. Uh, To me, I don't think it is. I think because ISO, and as we'll talk about tonight, the ISO standard, it's just a messaging standard, and actually, and we're going to go into there's a whole bunch of companies, and that aren't even financial. They're not financial businesses, but they're also compliant with this, and it really is just data, right? And it's not necessarily connecting, Satan out there to our money, or big government. And I know kind of what he's getting at, that big government watchdog looking at you. What that is going to do, that's going to be the CBDC that rolls down. That's pretty much what's going to do it for our freedoms at some point, in the future. China's already running down that road.
That's right. They may take our Klaus Schwab, but they'll never take our freedom. Come on now. What movie was that? You remember that movie?
I do remember that movie. Not a huge fan of the movie, but it was
all right.
It was still good. It was
Braveheart.
good.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, he's great.
Yeah. All right. So, born yesterday, it's giving capital to product and developing for a system of tyrannical bindings. Is it not?
He's getting heavy.
He's getting heavy into it. Well, you know what? It's all right. I also want to, yes, thank you so much, Tim, for stating that. The Commissioner of Crypto, the Crypto Mayor is in the house. We also have, for instance, GS is in the house. You know what? Yes, indeed. It says, hello, CTN family. That's from you. Let's give this gentleman the proper plug, as I would say, or Larry, always mentions the plug. Some of you guys from, DGen Crypto, talking about the plug. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm going to pull it up real quick. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and follow this wonderful co-host to my right, I believe, which is basically on or actually my left, the left, whatever. Wherever you're at in this world, on the screen, this guy over here.
Yeah, I'm down here now.
Absolutely. Go over here, type in the space Crypto Smith. It brings you up to Sean the Crypto Smith. And you can definitely sub to him. And if anything, check it out. He's ticked up a little bit too, man. That's awesome. Glad to see it.
Got a few subs. Yeah, it's the grind, but we got to keep going, keep doing it.
It is a grind. And guys, if you're into Corium, which we talk about a little bit here, he did a video 2 days ago in regards to Corium is building a unique layer 1. It says, are smart tokens going to revolutionize crypto? On top of that, about a week ago, XRP creates financial chain across the world. Don't you hate that when you put so much time and so much energy? Like, this is going to be the one. This is the one. This is going to be the crypto XRP video, and it's a miss.
It's a miss. You got to take the misses, with the hits. Corium and Cypherium has done very well, so it's okay. It's part of the process.
Yeah. And the reason why you keep at it, because then you have ones like this where it says, why I hold XRP and XLM with 4,100 views. Not too shabby. Yeah. Very cool. So yeah, go ahead and follow at the Crypto Smith, or just go the space Crypto Smith on YouTube. We definitely would appreciate it. We'll go ahead and leave this up for a little bit more as we welcome a few more people here tonight. As Larry would say, this is the crypto show you're looking for. And I want to go ahead and welcome a guy I consider a friend for many, many months now, almost a year, Mr. Michael Cornwell and the rest of the Cornwell clan, April, his son, you name it. Nice to have you guys here tonight. I also want to, again, thank GS for being here. Salamander's in the house. Says XRP, XTC, quant leaders. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Mr. Salamander. And let's see here. Let's read this particular comment. It comes from Crypto McDizzle for Shizzle Manizzle for show. He says, buy ISO 222 and be the bank. Be like LCX, right? And get the interest that banks are getting now. Hell, even sell it and help humanity. Retail getting to ISO 222 is the opposite, in his opinion. What do you think in regards to that particular statement, Sean?
Well, is he suggesting buying the ISO tokens? Is that what the gist here is?
That's what I gathered.
Okay.
He says, in his opinion, IMO, which would mean in my opinion.
Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, if you listen to me at all, you know this is big for me, and it's just really about utility. There's nothing super special about the ISO standard. It just helps push more data, basically a more data rich content, out to these financial institutions in regards to payments and other things, even that don't have anything to do with payments. So you can't go wrong with utility. I'm going to leave it right there.
Yeah,
especially in the crypto world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great statement. I want to welcome Big Watch Dudes in the house. Thanks for being here. What's up, CTN fam, and Max, and also, of course, Sean, which he's of course part of the fam, so that's all right. Yes, definitely sorry for Sean's loss.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. No problem. No big deal.
Sobo's in the house. Thoughts with you, Max? Well, thanks so much, Sobo. Always glad to see you here. It's funny, you mentioned the whole thing of thoughts with you, Max. I actually talked to my dad's childhood friend, one of his best friends, and she was talking to me about the whole thing of where she's at, and like where is it, like northeastern Oregon, near the Idaho border, kind of like not too far where you're at. And she lives in halfway Oregon, and she was describing a cabin. And everything she described is literally in the avatar of Sobo. She was talking about snow in there. She's in the cabin. She's looking out the window. And then there's Sobo, who says, "Thoughts with you, Max." So kind of a small world. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk is in the house. This is the crypto show you're looking for, and especially if you're with Mr. Lambo. All right. This is towards Sean. At Sean, aka the Crypto Smith, aka the Crypto Whisperer. My goodness, aka Iceberg Smith. LOL. Wow.
Iceberg Smith. That's probably my favorite one right there. Iceberg Smith. That's funny. Thanks, Big Watch Dude. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's cool. I want to welcome Miguel. Good to see you, Miguel. Thank you so much for the nice, kind words that you have dropped in the comments for the recorded. You're a fan of the show. You're a fan of the recorded. I can't say enough good things about that. So thanks for joining us here tonight, Miguel.
Welcome, Miguel.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to go further down. I'm glad everybody is welcoming each other and so on. We're going to welcome also Open Mind. And by the way, nobody should be closed-minded. They should be open-minded. So welcome, Open Mind. Hello, everybody.
Words to live by.
Yes. And Rafael Santos is in the house. Shout out to him in the Philippine Islands. Little known fact, they used to be referred to that many, many years ago. I think it was during the 1940s, I believe. My dad would always tell people, like, where was your wife from? And he would say, my wife is from the Philippine Islands. And I would always say to him when I was a young kid, I'm like, Dad, I thought it was just called the Philippines. He's like, look it up, son. It used to be referred to as the Philippine Islands. So I looked it up, and I'm like, I'll be darned. There was a period of time where the Philippines was literally called the Philippine Islands. So anyway. All right. Yes. And how about this? Mr. Balls Deep might be balls deep into Cypherium, Quant, and XRP. How about that? He states, is Cypherium competition for Quant or XRP? I would say basically for XRP, but is it really, or is it just another player?
Well, I mean, competition. Yeah, I would say it. Yeah, they're competing for a similar real estate in the financial world. So, and it's going to be XRP, basically because Quant really is more of a software, than really a payment system, right? And Quant is going to really be used for interoperability, right? That's just the main case for it. So, and Cypherium somehow is able to bridge currencies and be interoperable with different blockchains. So that they're slightly different in that regard, but I would say if it's in competition for one of them, it's going to be XRP.
But what about when you have somebody says, "But contraire, mon frère, what do you say about CBDC? Oui, when it comes to Quant?" Because think about LEC chain, what they got going on with the Bank of England with that particular digital pound, and even some of these other things they got going on with MIT.
Wait, so look at what's the actual use case. Is it quant isn't going to really be used to transfer money, right? To finance something. So then that's why they're different. It's just a different utility that they're going for. And Cypherium, I believe that their main case is moving money. That's really what they're striving for.
And we're going to talk a little bit more in regards to all this, you guys. We have a great outline for you. We're going to talk about this whole thing on ISO 222 migration timeline. We're even going to talk about this whole thing with FedNow. Shout out to, of course, Mike Cornwell, who I believe mentioned me a few days ago in regards to this whole FedNow thing with the moderntreasury.com. So we're going to get into all of that hot news and topics in regards to ISO. I want to welcome a few more people, especially this guy. Always love seeing him. Mr. Brian Dowie's in the house.
Brian, good to see you. Good to see you in the chats as always.
Yes. And Coochie Boy's in the house. Says, sup CTN fam. Glad to have you here, Mr. Coochie Boy. Hold on. GS states, some weed does that to me too stuck. Okay. All right. So let's go further down. We might just go ahead and get things started here in a bit. We're just going to welcome a few more people. We're about 16 minutes technically into it. Richard365 says, what up, everyone? Glad to have you here, Richard. KK's in the house. He said, what's up? How is everyone? We're doing pretty good. Says, hopefully good. All things stay strong. Little grains of sand make the mountain. Yes. Thank you for being here, KK. I think that's just about it. Of course, Coochie Boy saying hello to me and you.
Coochie Boy, good to see you.
Yeah, a lot of comments. That's great. Helps with the algorithm. Lazy Jedi's in the house. What up, Max and Sean? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that launch last night for SpaceX. I caught in a little bit in regards to the Lazy Shaman show featuring Steve the Canadian and so many of you other guys. That was pretty interesting. I'll read this comment. Crypto McDizzle says, a gold-backed currency grows at 1.5% inflation. As more gold is minted, or not minted, mined, excuse me. Why would it be minted? But around 1% popular growth makes inflation rate 0.5% as it grows with population growth.
I'm not a huge, I don't know a ton about gold itself. I'm not really done much research on that. I do own some, a little physical and a little, let's say, digital. But that sounds interesting. I'm going to have to look it up now.
Peter Schiff is not your cousin?
No, Peter Schiff is not my cousin.
All right. But yes, let's see. Did I skip somebody? I thought somebody was saying Brittany was here because they said Bree. But I think that was trying to say Brian, but that's okay. But yeah, Lazy Jedi's in the house. Miguel says Affinity Coin. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Are you aware of that particular one, Affinity Coin?
Affinity Coin, I am not.
Okay. Well, I will have to add that to the grocery list. Why add it to the grocery list, Max? You're not going to do anything anyway. All you're going to do is talk about quant. All you're going to do is updates on these other particular ones. You're never going to get into it. You've been talking about it for the longest time. You're not going to do jack dilly squat. That is not true. Just because I haven't done it yet doesn't mean I won't. So I'm going to add it actually right now to my particular crypto research notes. You don't even have a list, Max. I bet you're just making it up as you speak. Ha! How about this? Film Crib, Netflix Killer, ArcBlock, ABT, Morpheus Network, obviously Cypherium, Vector Space, EGLD, BRL, Bull Run Life. We'll talk more about that here soon, especially. Instadap, SEEQ, Flare, VAIOT, Scallop, ALI, which we talked about that for almost a year now. ORAI and AI, WadsPay, aka WTK, KAS, Realm, GQ, Galactic Quadrant, EWT, Cello, and the list just goes on and on and on. But anyway, I will add it to the list. Affinity. See, people think I don't take notes.
So according to that list, you're going to get to infinity probably November of 2025.
I'll have, you know what? I'm
that's
surprised
that's so much info you got to look up, dude.
You want to know something? Take away all the real life distractions and you'll be so surprised how fast I could bat some stuff out. I'm telling you, flat out, I'll get around to it. And then people will be like, holy crap, he did bat some ones out. But then I'll also be like, yeah. And, like, let's face it, 9 out of 10 will probably not get that many views and so on. But it's whatever. Hopefully it doesn't be an XRP moment, right? With like 50 views or something. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Those are frustrating.
They are. But you know what? When you hit gold, no pun intended, it's worth it. But yes, I'm glad Crypto Mike's saying hello to everybody. We will get right into the show here in just about a minute or so, because we definitely want to do that. Hello, Cash Cats. Metal X in the house. Hello, is it Metal X you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Yes, got to keep that up. All right. So you have Corium now working on XPX. Is that a typo? You really meant XPX? You ever heard of that one? Sean.
XPX? No.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Might be a typo. We'll give the benefit of that. Might not be a typo. It might be a real thing. Keegan Kang's in the house. How much quant is good to hodl for the long term? Minimum of 10, and I'm looking at it from 100,000 per quant perspective. My own personal goal for originally was 10 quant. My new goal is 20. I don't know if I just keep DCAing into it after that. I don't know, but we'll see. I want to welcome Mr. Shaggins. Let's go ahead and kick it into our coverage. We got to, guys, because it's 21 minutes into the show. We have some good problems. Please hit the like if you haven't done so already. Let's start things off with the first topic of the day. Do you want to go ahead and take it away on your particular share? Do you have it ready and primed, or do you want me to?
You can go. Yeah, no, go ahead. You can go first.
All right, so we're going to talk about this real quick. Maybe you guys saw this, because I know a lot of you guys are subscribed to Zach Rector, and shout out to him. I think he's a great content creator. This was shared the other day from Crypto Mike. I also saw it earlier, I don't know, like on my phone. But I wanted to share it with you guys. Of course, he's walking around, inside of a United States Postal Service post office. This one is only about 3 minutes, but you want to hear about this whole message about gold back. Let's face it, the last few days, even weeks, there's been a lot of hot topic about gold back XRP. Why is that so significant? And why are more and more content creators, even myself, right? Some of you guys trying to get, all enthused or understand why this is such a big deal. So let's go ahead and play this. We'll be back in about 3 minutes for some commentary and talk about this briefly. Here we go.
Gold-backed XRP. Okay, let's talk about this. This is going to be the final time that I address this and try to explain this in a simple way that everyone can understand. To peg XRP to gold, 1 ounce of gold equals 1 XRP. You would have to take control of the full supply of XRP. You would have to do kind of like a executive order like they did in the 30s, where they took back the gold and made it illegal, and then they set the price of gold. That is the only way that you would ever be able to peg XRP 1-to-1. You'd have to take full control. Now, the other way is you could take a portion of the XRP and say that your XRP that you hold is backed by gold, essentially creating another token or another asset. But here's where this gets nuanced. We already have tokenized gold on the XRP ledger. So in a way, XRP is already being backed by gold. Now, is that a full backing? Is that going to raise the price? Well, let's compare this analogy that really explains this. Saying that XRP can't be backed by gold is like saying that the United States dollar can't be backed by the US military. When you have $1 US, do you have any share of the US military? No. But for all intents and purposes, the military does back the dollar. So tokenized assets on the ledger, is it a backing? See, this is the nuance. This is where people get all caught up in the technicalities. By putting things of value, assets of value, commodities, whatever you want, NFTs, memes on the XRP ledger, you're adding some form of value. And by using the ledger, you're also destroying XRP, every transaction, every message that you send over the ledger. So in a way, yes, gold already is backing XRP, right? We understand that we have a couple tokens, and that's what they call them. They used to be issued assets on the XRP ledger. Now they just made it simple, call them tokens. We already have multiple tokens on the XRP ledger that are supposed to be backed by gold. That's not where I'm going to be. I mean, I do own, full disclosure, I own a little bit of the X Gold token, which is one of them. But I just wanted to clear this up for everybody that's getting all confused, and the thought police are coming out and saying, no, XRP can never be backed by gold. Well, first off, they did confiscate the gold back in the days in the 1930s. And so, this is the conversation of, could they potentially confiscate our XRP? Yeah. But then I also make the analogy, Does the United States military back the dollar? For all intents and purposes, yes. Does $1 get you a share of the US military? No. Is it pegged 1-to-1? No. But for all intents and purposes, we already do have gold adding value to the XRP ledger. So I hope that I made that simple enough. Drop a comment down below.
Well, shout out to Zach Rector, obviously, and Mike Cornwell for providing that. I thought that was a pretty good analogy in regards to what he specifically mentioned, Zach Rector. Are you on board with some of that, or are you kind of like, I don't know?
Look, I like Zach Rector and his content, but he does get out there a little bit, and I like to keep things, straight. Like, let's just keep it real. And gold, I mean, the title, gold backed XRP, that's not a thing, right? That's never going to be a thing. You first of all, like he said, you would have to confiscate all of the XRP because you need the central depositor that's going to hold all of the gold that's backing that XRP, right? That's how else would it work? So it doesn't work, right? And it doesn't need to work. It doesn't need to be backed by gold. And I see this for other tokens. Say XLM is going to be backed by silver, and something else is going to be backed by palladium. And to me, it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, do I know 100% that's never going to happen? No, of course not. I don't know what crazy things might happen in the future, but to me, there's just no logic to it, right? It doesn't. If XRP has utility, real utility, and has demand, right, and it's driven by either cross-border payment, remittances, or by on-demand liquidity transfers, that demand is going to continue to go up over time, which is going to increase the price. You don't need gold for that.
Well, we're going to get back into it because here's the thing, all right? So I just spontaneously brought up something because this is a hot topic. I know this wasn't really planned. I mean, we're obviously still going to talk about like this whole ISO 222 migration, Sean. I'm going to read this real quick from Menelek. ISO 222 is the most important because it indicates which coins the IMF, BIS, etc. believe will be important going into the quantum financial system. Yes, true. I want to recognize what you said, Menelek. And by the way, Menelek, thanks for being here. I also want to thank and welcome Selma Fudd. I saw you in the comments. I definitely wanted to recognize you, as well as Paula Rose. Good day, or good to be here. Hope everyone had a good day. I want to get back on what we were talking about. So I already saw this long before Crypto Hulk posted about it. It's right on topic with what we were just mentioning from what Zach Rector presented and so on. So another shout out to another content creator. I also like how Zach mentioned the whole thing about, if you're basically a content creator, watch out for the thought police. And, it's ridiculous. As a content creator, it's like, you have to be careful, if you will. I try to be extremely careful, but yes, we are always at the threat of what are the thought police are going to say about what we just, mentioned? God, we can't have an opinion on anything, but check this out. This comes straight from Crypto Hulk. Some of you guys saw this. Now, don't get me wrong. All right. So I don't want this to seem like I'm not a fan of Richard Hart, because I think he's gotten it right, especially when it comes to the 4-year cycles. Heck, how many times have I done the bull run thesis? 5 times. Yes, I still plan on doing the 6th one, but then there's this, and it's like, well, God, a lot of people have lost respect for Richard Hart with some of these particular statements. My thing is this, that's just his particular opinion and so on, but Crypto Hulk definitely gave his 2 cents in regards to this. It's still on the same topic of what we're mentioning. I am going to share it with you guys. And Crypto Hulk mentions, I want to show you all this message because it's so lost in the dark. I don't completely agree with, or at all, actually, with what Richard Hart's message, his message here. And of course, Crypto Hulk basically mentions that as well. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Let me double check I got the right settings on. I do. And then we'll come back in just a minute and, of course, kick it into some of the ISO 222 topics and so on, and basically end this whole thing with the gold back. But here we go.
How many banks use XRP? None. How many years has it been around? I think it's been around since 2013. So 9 years. 0 banks use it. They integrated with MoneyGram one time. XRP didn't go up MoneyGram stock went up instead. Oops. You would have made more money having legacy stock instead of the XRP. Look, there's nothing wrong with XRP except the false marketing. Oh, and by the way, something I said in 2017, which is as true then as it is now, companies that make their own software and their own server hardware and their own server hosting facilities and their own everything, their own programming languages, they're not buying your bags. They know how to fork open source software. They do it all day, every day for a living. They're not buying your bags.
So Crypto Hulk just absolutely like bashed the living heck out of him. He's just like, you know, I wish I thought it was that particular one where he's talking about that, but no, it's so much more than just that. I don't know,
Well,
just kind of went on
because it's a lie. I mean, what he said there was an outright lie.
Oh, here's the follow-up. My bad. So that was the original one. Here's the one that was released 19 hours ago. My bad. Let me pull that one up. Do you see this one? Do you see this tab by any chance? You should. All right, let's listen. This is his reaction. You know, a lot of you guys watch, like, especially your kids, right? You watch reactions to like songs and stuff like that. Here's Crypto Hulk's reaction to that particular clip from Richard Hart. Let's go ahead and play that real quick. Here we go.
Let's watch this and see the lies.
How many banks use XRP? None.
Oh my God.
I think it's been around since 2013. So
yeah,
9 years.
Yeah.
0 banks use it.
Totally wrong.
Integrated with MoneyGram one time.
Every bank in this whole fucking world, the central banks use it. Watch my show, dude. This billionaire doesn't know a fucking thing. Every day for like the past year, I'm showing bank after bank after bank after bank is a partner. This guy's a fucking fraud. Keep watching.
XRP didn't go up. MoneyGram stock went up instead. Oops.
He's
You would have made more money
laughing.
having legacy
Wow.
stock instead of the XRP. Look, there's nothing wrong with XRP except the false marketing. Oh, and by the way, something I said in 2017, which is as true then as it is now, companies that make their own software and their own server hardware and their own server hosting facilities and their own everything, their own programming languages, they're not buying your bags.
China is linked up with XRP Ripple. India is linked up with XRP Ripple. I can go on and on. This guy's high. Just letting you know. FYI, this guy is so fucking high.
All right. Pardon the language. We do try to keep it, you know, but most of you guys are, you know, come from, you know,
adults.
Yeah,
most of us are adults. Yeah.
I might not say it here on the show because that's our policy, but, you know, I can't like filter that. I mean, sometimes it's one of those things, but what I was going to state is, you know, like I'm with Crypto Hulk on that, man, because the way I look at it is, okay, yeah, we mentioned the whole thing with Zach Rector and the gold back. And then there's that particular comment from, or multiple comments from, you know, Richard Hart basically saying the banks don't use. How could he possibly say that the banks don't use it? And then how about this? The icing on the cake is like, you know, Crypto Hulk mentioned at the very at the end, you know, about China and so on. Somebody in the comments mentioned, you know, hey Max, it's not just what was it, that particular not Cortex? I don't know, that one that pumped recently that claims to be the only blockchain officially recognized by China. Conflux, there we go. And the guy posted in the comments on the recorded video, hey, what about Casper? And I was like, you know what, that's a very good point. So it's like, is Richard Hart not really taking more of his own deep dive? You know,
I'm not a fan of Richard Hart myself. I don't take anything he says seriously. The guy, to me, he's a clown. He's wants Hex to be the only blockchain out there, the only token or coin out there. Like he thinks everything else is crap. And he's only saying it because it serves a purpose for him. A lot of people don't like XRP, or maybe they're down on XRP now because the price hasn't moved like they thought it was going to move, right? And because the way we think about what causes the price movement isn't happening yet. right? And we're still likely a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe. I mean, my guess is probably early 2026 is when we're going to start seeing actual utility run. And I'm not going to call it a bull run because I think it's going to be kind of a slow progression. You know, we're not going to see huge spikes as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, he can be self-serving.
I got to disagree with you on that. And I'm glad that we have these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, when you have, for instance, the Bank of England basically, showing that they're planning to move $1 trillion a day. $1 trillion a day. Well, if that's the case, you're going to move $1 trillion a day. And I get it, Sean. I get the whole thing about, like you mentioned, with Cypherium, right? And I'm on board for Cypherium. Trust me. But when you hear about the whole thing of, they will not move not all the money, but some of the money. To me, that's utility being put into motion. This whole concept that XRP is just going to hover around 32 to 40 cents and it's not going to move at all, then we have to refer to other particular cryptos out there that have utility being moved and working as we speak and so on. This whole concept of like, it's just not going to nothing.
Well, so my point is the time frame. And the Bank of England, they're just starting, right? They're still in the kind of the discovery phase. That could be a year just to do that, and then testing likely a year. They say they're about 2 years away from any sort of implementation of their CBDC, right? And then when they do it, there's going to be limits on it because they don't want the general public to hold too much because they don't want to crash their fiat system, right? So it's going to be several years of rollout. To really kind of ramp things up. And I think that's how it's going to be for most of them. It's going to take, they're still in their beginning stages, still in the building stage. And then they got to go through the testing phase. So we could be, a couple of years away from anything. And the prices are only moving, even though we have utility tokens, just like Quant, the price right now is only moving because of speculation, because people are purchasing, right? The retail level and maybe at the corporate level, somebody is purchasing tokens, in sufficient quantity to move the price. Right, and they're not moving because of utility yet.
Well, utility, yeah. My thing though is, I still think even if you just scratch the surface a little bit, you have not necessarily all the central banks or mass amounts of countries. Just a few in itself, to me, that would show some kind of upside potential. But I mean, I do get where you're coming from on a lot of it. I want to welcome Crypto Holmes 777. Says hello everyone. Consider changing your avatar. Something speaks more about who you are or what you're about. Maybe you have, for instance, I think I mentioned this before. Maybe your favorite crypto, has Sherlock Holmes mixed into it, where the case be. But I'd like to welcome you. I want to read Menelek's statement of, since the SEC is silent on Ether status, I would not celebrate Ethereum's free pass yet. Yes, I think that's a very, very true statement.
I'm going to, it's nice. I mean, I guess it's nice that they're kind of changing their stance a little bit, but I think this is window dressing from the SEC and Gary Gensler to not necessarily state that Ethereum is a security. He's just saying Bitcoin, everything else is going to be, everything else, according to him, is a security. But I think he's only saving that to make them look better, right? Because they're getting a ton of heat for this Ethereum free pass thing. But I think once it all comes down, I don't think they do anything to Ethereum. I think they let it go, unless somebody else takes over the SEC and they have a different opinion.
Geez, if you think about it, if they don't let it go, excuse me, if they don't let it go, right, and they do go after Ethereum, think about it in itself. And I know some people are going to say, can we get away from this particular topic? But it is something that exists, and it's going to exist for a while until we get like XRP, Quant, some of the other big utility coin / tokens to take over the massive wave of overall crypto market cap. And where I'm going with this is, if they do go after Ethereum, think about this. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum represent roughly in the area of 80 to 81% of the overall crypto market cap. And it's been that way for quite a few years. So if you go after Ethereum specifically and it tanks, even with a utility run, still that's going to be a huge dent, if you will, on the overall crypto market cap, if you will.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. If they dropped a lawsuit tomorrow, served them a Wells notice, to the Ethereum Foundation or Consensus, yeah, we're probably going to see a 80% drop in Ethereum value within a couple of days until the market starts to stabilize and people realize, well, okay, this is kind of an XRP situation. It didn't turn out too bad. If XRP is deemed not a security, today's XRP. The problem, though, is going to happen, and this has been talked about. Joel Katz with Ripple stated the outcome of this Ripple case may not be great for crypto overall. It may be great for XRP and Ripple, but it may be very bad for everybody else because XRP, let's say XRP gets that non-security designation by the courts, and SEC says, okay, fine, we'll take a huge, a landmark settlement, $250 million fine. They get to say they won, but XRP holders, we really get to win. But XRP is then going to be the only crypto that actually has clarification, a court-backed clarification, right? Not even Bitcoin has that, right? Because it hasn't been tested, right? So everybody can agree Bitcoin's not a security, and then fine, everybody goes on their way. But if no other asset is or is even questionable, it has to go through a court process in order to really be sussed out as either a security or not by the courts. So could be great for us, but for all other crypto, it may be bad.
And knowing that, I'm just thinking of, so many projects, whether we're fans of, Ethereum and whatnot, but let's face it, I mean, there's so many projects built in their ecosystem. That alone is huge. The NFTs, I mean, if ETH tanks because of something like that, it's going to have a profound effect on its ecosystem,
Well, and I'll be honest, and, this is probably not going to be a popular opinion. The only reason I would feel sorry for Ethereum is because of the retail holders that are going to get wrecked, that would get wrecked if that kind of situation happened. Ethereum itself, Consensus and the Ethereum Foundation, I wouldn't feel sorry for one bit because they are the reason XRP is in this situation right now. They're the reason the SEC decided to sue Ripple.
Yeah, very true. I already flashed this, but I want to state it. Some of us says interoperability plays would be on-demand liquidity and chain link. So yeah, those are some pretty decent plays. I mean, I'm not into chain link myself, but I wanted to read that. Menelik also says quant is the brain of the quantum financial system. I love that particular statement. I think
that sounds good.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Menelik, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think you also stated that with Ripple's on-demand liquidity, that is the blood of that particular body, which is another particular great statement. April Cornwell, good to see you, April. Welcome back, Max. Hope your dad is doing better. He's in good spirits. I mean, he seems like he's fine. He's just, I didn't like giving, nobody likes having to give their parent bad news. But he's always told me since I was a kid, whether it comes to me, him giving it to me straight, as he would say. Like when I was a kid, I always tell my dad, which was weird, like being like 5 years old. And I do remember like being 4 years old and 5 years old. I would tell my dad, back, I guess this is my old voice, Dad, please give it to me straight. And so he would give it to me straight. So, I was there and he looked at me. He basically said, he was like, son, just give it to me straight. And I was like, all right, well, you're looking at like another 4 weeks of being in some kind of hospital care. He's like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I'm not. You told me to give it to you straight. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you asked for.
Yeah. So, and then knowing that when he comes back, he has to go on a hardcore diet. And I was just thinking, you know what? It's not going to be right for me to put him on that. So guess who's going to join him? Me. I need to anyway. And because, like he loves Coke. I love Coke, right? Coca-Cola people, not the DGen crowd, right? And it's just, how can I, like he's got short-term memory loss. He doesn't have Alzheimer's or dementia. So I'm going to put him on this hardcore thing and then crack open some. I'm just not going to do that. I need to get hardcore myself. So that's where we're at. Anyway, thank you, April, for being here. Richard states, quant $124 currently speaking. Yeah, it was a nice pullback. I might just pick up a couple quant at these particular prices because you know what? It's been my average, I think, I don't know where my average is. I have to double check, but it ain't gonna hurt me any if I just pull, picked up maybe one or two more. Let me go further down. Let's see. We got Cash Cats in the house saying hello to April. Raphael says, Sir Max and Sir Sean, any thoughts on Zoom? XUMM.
So I think it's pronounced Zum, and it's a Zum wallet. Basically, it's it's a wallet for the XRPL. And it's a place, obviously, you can store your crypto there, but then it's also a place where developers, I believe, can kind of get together and figure out how to build on the XRPL. So it's kind of a dual platform. But I don't have a problem with Zum. What I do have a problem with is Sologenic. And I don't know if you've ever used it or know about it. It's basically
I'm aware of it. Yeah, I'm aware of it.
It's the decentralized exchange for the XRPL, and it's just not built very well. It's not very user friendly. It's kind of clunky. And it doesn't look very pretty. There's so many more DEXs out there that have a much more vibrant, let's say, user experience or UI. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Sologenic just yet, but sounds good.
An ISO pro. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you for that question, Raphael. Just to answer it, I'm not aware of that until now. So so many things I still need to research, but there you have it from Sean. Yes, can we hit the like? We would appreciate it. I'm going to read two more comments, and then we're going to kick it into Sean's outline. So while I'm reading it, if you want to get that primed, we will get that going. Open Mind states, I always hear about the cons for CBDCs, but are there any pros for them? That's an actual very good question. So my thing is this, right? So I do think that there is obviously some specific pros. This whole concept of, people want to state, like it's just all doom and gloom. It's the devil, all these particular things. I get where they're coming from because I think, was it Rich of Common Sense Crypto? He mentions this like countless times, almost literally every video. And that is, if we give any government access, direct access to our funds, they'll definitely take it. But technically speaking, what about the IRS? You know what I mean? So there's programs already put into place long before a CBDC comes out. I do see some certain benefits, but I understand that some people feel as though that the cons outweigh the pros. My thing is, again, it's the blockchain technologies, whether it's Ripple or Stellar or some of these other ones, they're tied into that. To me, that's very impressive. And the reason why I want to mention one of these specific ones, and I don't have the video, I have it on Twitter. Maybe I'll bring this up in just a moment. But this one guy, he's a content creator, and he was talking about, hey, he went to his local bank and he wanted to withdraw, I think it was $250,000. To us, that's a lot of money, but for him, it's not. And his bank was like, nah, we can't do that. You're going to have to wait, I think 4 weeks. And then he mentioned it took 5 weeks for that to happen. Well, with the proper, I guess you could say, CBDC that had some of this blockchain technology tied into it, I don't think that would necessarily be the case. Now, I'm not saying like right from the beginning of, this ISO, 222 migration, like it happens overnight, like, what Sean mentioned, there's going to be a few years where this takes time to, I guess you could say, in a test net form and so on. But I do feel as though that there's pros for them. And basically the ones that stand out is for the financial sectors to be able to transfer that money, not just cross-border, but overseas payments. This is a lot more effective, more efficient, more secure. And then even people like that, I just mentioned, that have like, he wanted to get 250,000 out. Why? Because he had like this big event for like some kind of podcast and you want to upgrade his studio. And imagine being, at the end of the day, just, you don't have access to your money. So imagine like, we're all invested into a lot of this stuff. Let's face it, some of us, we might be multi-millionaires, like, maybe over 100 million. Who knows? Maybe some of you guys are going to be billionaires, right? I'm just trying to be realistic about some of this stuff, right? The whole concept of still having to deal with the traditional finance, TradeFi, and basically get the same answer with the old system of, well, that's a lot of money and we can't get that. Really? So you don't really have my money that you claim to have. And that's, of course, what he was mentioning.
Yes. Yeah, banks, I mean, generally banks don't hold hardly any cash at all, in their vaults. Like there's no, you see on movies that bank robbers go in and they, open up the vault, with torches and whatever, and there's just stacks and stacks of cash and
Right.
gold and everything. That doesn't exist in the real world. And I would agree that there are not very many pros for us, right? The retail user. There's lots of pros for the government and for the banks. But for us, and I'm going to agree with Max, is that speed. What is the speed of your money, right? And I'll give you a great example. I can be out of town, collect money from a customer, and go and put it in a bank. Even it's my bank. Go to Wells Fargo, go deposit that check, for $5,000, and let them know, hey, I want this money to be available right away. And they're going to say, well, we don't know you. We don't have a relationship with you. It's going to be 7 days. Your check's going to be on hold for 7 days. But yet I can go back to my bank, who they know me, and they're going to make it available immediately. It's the same system, right? But that trust factor isn't there. So speed of your money is number one, and security is going to be number two. There's no way a central bank or a government or central authority is going to get retail into these CBDCs and into being comfortable using them unless they know it is 100% secure. Some random hacker is not just going to get into my CBDC wallet and take all my money, and transfer it out into some, meme coin. So those are the things that you're going to get. And I'll say this also, the government already knows what you spend your money on, right? To think that you have some sort of privacy, unless you do everything only in cash. And even then, there still can be some tracking, but the government already knows everything you spend your money on. Most of us use our debit cards or credit cards. And that's easy for them to do. It's also very easy for them to reach into your bank account and take whatever money they think you owe them. Okay, that's not a problem for them. So, I know everybody complains about, financial privacy, but we don't have financial privacy right now, right? That's really just doesn't exist. So, and yeah, cash going away is going to be one of the biggest holdouts for a lot of people, because that's really kind of where you get your financial privacy from. But most people don't use cash today, really. Most people just use their debit card or credit card.
Right.
So they're going to transition into that system very, very easily.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. And there's an old expression that goes, privacy for security, and it basically works both ways. And that's, of course, some people, they bring back that age-old expression from, was it the late 1700s or something, give me liberty or give me death. Well, give me privacy without the sacrifice of security. They want to tie that in.
But one more thing.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, we're also into this, right? Us here, people who are listening, whoever watches your videos, we're in here because we know it's coming. You're not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop it. It's going to come. What can we do to benefit from it, right? That's why we're trying to position ourselves in places where we can benefit from this system that we are not going to stop coming in, right? I can't slow it down. Me not talking about it, doesn't do anything, right? It's still going to come. So you're going to have to be comfortable with that and figure out a way to benefit from that. And that should be the biggest takeaway from CBDCs or digital money, in the future.
Very good point. I want to welcome Stevie, who's in the house. I also want to welcome Blackwood. I did see you in comments. Sorry I didn't get a chance to highlight your particular comment. Crypto GPT Max. I guess I'm like Chat GPT, but it's me. I don't know what you're saying, but whatever the case be, thanks for being here, Stevie. Let's see if he reads it. Reads what? Let me see. What about ice? That's what you're talking about. Jeez. Okay. All right. I did read it. All right. So let me go further down. I want to welcome Rayan, who's in the house. Good to have you here tonight, Rayan. He states human nature is they never analyze anything until they see it. Very good point. All right. So we want to be able to have, of course, an outline and so on. We're about 54 minutes into the show and so on. Sean, do you want to go ahead and share some of the things you have on board for tonight?
Yeah. Let me just pull up my, get my list here. So we're just going to talk real quick about kind of the backstory of the ISO 222 story. Swift, the one pretty much kicking it off. because that's the main player in the financial payment sector. So let's see. Can I share my screen? I guess it's going to be this one here.
All right, let me pull it up for you. There we go.
Okay, so this is fairly updated. So the original SWIFT system was designed in the 70s, right? And it says here, Prince Albert of Belgium sends the first SWIFT message using the MT standard. MT is still what they use today. 2004, and this might surprise a lot of people, as it surprised me, the ISO 222 is launched by the International Organization for Standardization. So that is what ISO stands for. And ISO, just so people know, ISO develops standardization protocols for a lot of different industries. It's not just the financial industry, right? There's different, ISO number protocols for the health industry or for inventory tracking and things like that. It's basically they're just putting together an internationally agreed upon standardization, protocol, for whatever it is they want to make standard, right? So people can talk across different countries in different languages, but still have the same meaning and all kind of agree on whatever they mean. So that's kind of why they came up with this. And they're the ISO, the 222 is just basically a more data rich version of what they have. It's faster. Let's see. It's like I said, it provides more data. I know there was another point here and I didn't write it down. But anyway, we can move on. Obviously, it's a much better version. And keep in mind, this is just a messaging platform. That's all it is. It's not actually the mover of the money. It's just the message that goes along with these payments that gives all of the detail that needs to be given, where it's coming from, where it's going, how much it is, who it is, whatever other related details need to be, all the account numbers for banks and routing numbers and all that kind of stuff gets wrapped up into this message. And then it gets sent with the payment sender, right, which is the bank, or it could be it could be a physical move of money like they used to, right? They used to send pallets of money, on airplanes over to different banks in different countries and there would be a message that would be sent that would likely arrive much, much earlier than the money actually arrived. So it would let them know this is what you're waiting for. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then it just goes on about how they've been moving along. August 2022, so just a few months ago, they enabled the ISO 222 messages for cross-border payments on an opt-in basis. Currently, today, you're not required to update to this ISO, the new ISO standard. And then in October, because European Central Bank, they weren't ready, basically. They're saying, hey, we're not ready. We're not going to implement on your time frame. So they had to move the time frame from November 2022 to March, which is next month, 2023. And this just goes across general participants. So it's basically voluntary at this point, and they're going to have a couple of years to pretty much migrate everybody who's going to participate in the financial system. Now, you can't opt out of this and be a large bank, right? You don't have a choice. You have to comply with the new standards if you want to be able to send and receive money. So fully complete November 2025. And this is kind of where I get my early 2026 date for the real utility run. And I know Max might not agree with that, but that's kind of where I get that from. Because I think once everybody's required, and some may wait all the way up till the very end, to really get on board. And some may have, some sort of technical issues, or some may fight it. Maybe they don't want it. Maybe it's costing them money and infrastructure they got to figure out. But that's what we're looking at as far as just the general overview of the new ISO standard.
Well, sounds good. I mean, my main thing is basically it's like, kind of like the concept of the start of a bull run, and then when things are clearly into like, the all-time highs for that particular bull run. You have some of these that are going to be obviously implemented. I get where you're coming from as far as like, was it the end of 2025 and then probably like into 2026 where all of it is done, and that's where we see a lot of it. But to me, it's like, there's still money to be made, and that's one of the key things I want people to understand. But
yeah, I'll agree with you on that. Is that you're right, and we could have there could be one large thing that happens, right? Maybe Quant gets a huge pump because of some new contract they've got, or they actually start implementing, or companies start buying the token up because they know they're going to need it in order to use it, and maybe that starts a small or local bull run. But I'm saying just a steady climb from there on after, I think is when we get November 2025, and we know that everybody's on board with it. Everybody has to use it, and then there are only certain tokens that are basically compliant with that new messaging standard, and that's what we like to talk about.
Yeah, very true. I am going to get into a super chat. Just saw it came across the screen. Give me just a moment to pull it up. I think it's from Crypto Mike. Hold on a second. All right, so let me just pull this off for a second. I'm gonna go down to where Crypto Mike's super chat is at, and then we'll get back into some of the other things we're talking about here tonight. Thanks for joining us here, everybody. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Crypto Mike, thanks for the $2 super chat. He says Valorium.io pre-sale is still live right now. We'll go ahead and pull that up for you. I'm not personally into Valorium. I am aware of it. I did see Chaka Crypto's introduction to Valorium. So I'm going to pull it up real quick. Valorium.io. And let's see what happens. All right, let me pull it up. So here's their particular site. And like you mentioned, it's still in the pre-sale. It says Valorium is a cryptocurrency designed to build companies, unlike other tokens based on memes, cartoons, animes, or animals, like a lot of them, right? They build for the future. They are reluctant to use the overused word revolutionary. I guess that is kind of overused. Yeah. My project is revolutionary. Okay. All right. So simply because we have something new. Yeah. Unique, probably different, definitely, but revolutionary, only time can answer that question. One aspect is our unique vesting platform. That is a new crypto. This unique vesting platform is going to help build not only a Valorium token, the Valorium community, but also the companies that they're building. We are going to create a pathway connecting crypto, exotic car designs, game designs, and entertainment as all part of the Valorium LLC, a registered corporation. Very cool. They have entertainment, gaming studio, and learning center, as well as exotic cars. Kind of looks like an F1 McLaren. I wonder what that actually is. I don't know if it's a concept car. You can check out more in regards to their super sale rewards, the Valorium exotic cars, learn more about the ecosystem. And yeah, check them out on over at Valorium.io. You can check out more of the tax breakdown, like tokenomics, roadmap, all these particular things by going on over to Valorium.io. So there you have it. Thank you very much to Crypto Mike, the $2 super chat. And if anything, I'm going to go back to where we're at before, which is way up in the comments. And it's not done on purpose. If I skip anybody, it wasn't intentional. We're going to get back into some of the outline that we have, but I'm going to read this real quick. It does also come from Crypto Mike, and it states, HBAR is about to release a percentage of total supply into a circulating supply, causing a small price drop, roughly 6%. But these idiotas gonna sell off bows the chance for HBAR discount. Yeah, okay, good to know. I didn't know that. Glad that you share that. I'm gonna get further down. Hold on a second. Zach is very button up and professional. You watch him every so often. Well, cool, man. Glad to see that. He's doing really, really well. Rayan states, if you hold 10K, at least HBAR and 20 quant, go to sleep. Don't even add anything. Wait until maximum 2025 October. It'll be free. Financial be set for the rest of your life. Well, very good point. I also want to welcome Michael Montclair. I guess I will read just how about this one, and then we'll kick it back into our outline. Central banks adding a whopping 1,136 tons of gold, worth some 70 billion to their stockpiles in 2022, by far the most of any year on record going back to the 1950s. The World Gold Council, WGC, said. Are you aware of the World Gold Council, Sean?
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I certainly I have heard that banks, especially Russia, China, India, right now, the BRICS banks or the BRICS countries are stockpiling gold like we've never seen before, and I think they're either getting ready to back their own currency, their own cryptocurrency, right? Because you can back it, despite what we talked about earlier, you can back a CBDC to gold, right? If there's a finite supply of it, and somebody central holds control of it, and there's a central authority holding the gold, then it can be done. And that's the thought that this is what they're going to do. They're going to, whatever their new currency is going to be, it's going to be backed by gold, or they're just waiting for a complete financial collapse. And he who holds the most gold has all the power.
Like gold member. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
There's another comment I saw. Let me see. I'll read this real quick. By the way, Michael Montclair, thanks for being here tonight. B-Rise 10X in the next few weeks. Get ready. Cool. Ahmed states, again, I don't know if I'm saying it right. It might be Ahmed or is Ahmed. Just let me know. Welcome back, by the way. He states, how much will 100,000 XLM be worth in 2025? Again, it's just my opinion. Freedom of thought, which is always at, never mind. We talked about it. Anyway, I'm going to go with, by that particular time, and some people got way higher. I think I even saw Mental X state I think at least 1,000. Some people have way higher than that because the whole thing was silver. But I'm gonna be conservative with it. I'm gonna say at least $100 per XLM. So that would be basically with 100,000 XLM. That's $10 million worth of XLM by 2025. So some people may think you're right, you're wrong. It doesn't matter. That's just how I feel about it. Thank you for the question. Someone Fudd says central banks and CBDCs are a go for me. Thank you for that comment, Selmo. And then Crypto McDizzle states central banks buy gold to diversify their currency reserves and protect them from currency erosion. Very good point. I mean, technically speaking, think of, for instance, even here, right? So you have, was it the New York Fed, some other places as well, where you have literally just stacks and stacks of gold bullion. We see it with the Bank of England. That's a common thing all over the place. So that, yeah, they're loading up. Even some of our foreign adversaries are loading up, and that in itself, it's like, why are they loading up so much? What's coming here soon? I hope it's not going to be some of the doom and gloom that's some people are stating about, but you never know. All right, so hold on, let me a second. Let's read this. Gold is hardly used. Why would they use it as a backing? I expect it to tank. Okay. The way I look at it is because it's always been that type of thing that for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Some people call it, God's money, if you will. And I understand that some people feel as though it's too volatile. But look at our money system as we have it. Since the 1970s, what was it, 71, right? It's just, we've had this endless money printing mechanism, not backed by anything. And look at where we're at now. Last I checked, I think it's 31 trillion, 34 trillion that the United States is in debt.
Yeah, it's terrible. But gold, remember, gold is the original money. Gold is what most people consider the only real money. And I would look at it this way. These central banks out there and these governments, they control everything. They control the money supply. They control the money policy. There's a reason they're buying this much gold, right? And there's a reason it's happening right now. And they are, and part of it, I believe, is to prepare for the unknown, right? If we're going to have some black swan event and, currency as we know it is going to be over and we're switching to CBDCs or whatever, there's going to be a period of unrest, let's say, right? And uncertainty. And this is hedging themselves for all of that. And they can go to their citizens and say, look at all the gold that we have. You guys don't need to worry. Like we got you covered. Right. So, and there's a reason they're buying this stuff. It's not for nothing.
Yeah, very, very true. All right, let's go ahead and kick it into some of like the main things we're trying to talk about tonight. And I did see that we ticked back up to the 50s. Thank you for joining us here tonight with myself and Sean, the Crypto Smith. We are talking about this whole thing of ISO 222 timeline / migration. So on this particular one, I will take it away. But I definitely want to have a back and forth conversation with you guys as an audience, and as well as Sean here, co-host tonight. So it's this right here, and it's in regards to the whole thing of FedNow, right? So it says, what is FedNow? And let's face it, guys. I mean, when it comes to the Fed, for me personally, I've seen technically only 2 official, quote unquote, crypto projects officially recognized by the Fed. Well, I guess I should say 3. I got to throw quant into that. So I have the first one was definitely XLM. The beginning of 2022, you saw that, the behind the scenes interviews, if you will. I think there was a C-SPAN video, some content creators that even covered it and so on, in regards to, the Fed officially recognizing like XLM. That was a big thing. There's no price action, obviously, and so on. And then number 2, and we pointed this out a few months ago, especially with, the whole thing with MIT and quant, that was a big thing. And then number 3 for me is definitely what? Cypherium. Of course, shout out to Sean, who's here right now. So what's this thing with FedNow? Let's get into it. So it says FedNow will be the first new payment rail in the United States since the introduction of the automated clearinghouse, ACH, in the early 1970s. Isn't that awfully convenient, right? Think about that particular timeline of us getting off of the gold standard. So it says this new payment service designed by the Federal Reserve will enable real-time payments for financial institutions of any size in any community 365 days of the year. FedNow is targeting launch mid-year 2023, and let's face it, we're very, very close to that. And of course, some people from the Cypherium community have outlined some of this, right? I've seen some of the posts and so on, and some of you guys have seen it, right? Especially if you hold Cypherium, and it's so key to recognize some of this because, if anything, it creates the whole mechanism of supply and demand, and a little bit of buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Well, it says, while services like PayPal and Venmo are already revolutionizing the world of instant person-to-person payments, again, that's the key thing here, person-to-person. It's not just bank to bank, and it's definitely not just peer-to-peer, even though person-to-person sounds the same. FedNow's mission is to increase accessibility, efficiency, and widespread adoption from regional banks too. The FedNow service will incorporate clearing functionality into the process of settling each payment. And when I think of that, I think of already, for instance, what's his name? Augustine. He's a pretty heavy-set guy like myself, but more so, from the Bank of International Settlements, right? Settling each payment. What does that mean? That the financial institutions will be able to instantly exchange the necessary information to debit and credit customer accounts. Like it says, as a result, banks will also be able to notify customers of completed or failed payments faster. Now, that's the key thing here that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to highlight this for you guys who are just joining us. So I'll read it one more time. As a result, banks will also be able to notify customers of completed or failed payments faster. How will that be done? Well, in my opinion, it's definitely with what? The ISO standard. So you have this whole thing, this outline with FedNow and so on. For me personally, Sean, and credit to you for being probably, I guess you could say, the main guy who I watched that video in regards to Cypherium, and I was like really impressed to see, FedNow mentioned on their site, ISO 222. But think about this. Since last summer, when we first started covering ISO 222, we always talked about all the other ones. We talked about XRP, XLM. Heck, we talked about Quant with the ISO TC 307. We talk about some of these other ones, right, that are players that are part of that particular mix. But it wasn't until recently, right, within the last couple months, maybe 3 months tops, that we start talking about Cypherium. So what do you think in regards to this whole thing with FedNow, and what is so crucial specifically with FedNow compared to just putting the focus on ISO?
Well, basically, I think FedNow is really going to kind of set the standard for instant payments, right? And they're basically getting it out there, letting people know you're going to start hearing this term a lot over the next couple of years, right? Everything is going to be about instant payments, and not just instant payments, but instant settlement, right? And there's a difference, right? Sometimes, just think of your credit card. You go and spend something at the store, they take that transaction records on your account, but it doesn't actually settle for like 12 hours later or 24 hours later, where it's final, right? And so that time frame in between sending money or financial transaction and it actually settling where it cannot be changed, usually is a long time, which sometimes is why you can't access your money right away. Right? You got to wait for it to settle, right? Mortgage transactions do the same thing. It's a large amount of money. Money is sent, it's sent over, it's wire transferred to whatever bank needs to get it. And then you have to still wait, and you could wait for a day or two before it's actually settled and it's final. And that time frame where it's not settled is where it can be changed or declined, right? It could just fail. So that's the kind of thing, that's the friction they're trying to get rid of with instant payments and then instant settlement. That's where, of course, we like to think of XRP in there, but Cypherium is mentioned on FedNow's website. XRP is not. Ripple is only in the fact that they have a partner company, which is Volante, that the FedNow system is also using, but it's not really in conjunction with the actual payment rail. So I think we're going to hear a lot about. You're going to hear the term instant payments, a lot over the next couple of years.
Well, let's say, for instance, hold on a second. Let's say, for instance, somebody doesn't hold XRP. They don't hold Cypherium. They hold, I don't know, just some random crypto projects that might not even be, utility based, right? But they're like, you know what? I think there's something huge about to happen, but I am the guy in which I need to see something happen here soon. I'm not going to be as patient as some others 5-6 years down the road, or 3 to 5 years down the road. I'm on the fence with XRP and Cypherium. Do you feel as though that Cypherium is actually gonna be the one that will start getting things done before like that time frame of 2026 that you mentioned, or do you feel as though it just depends that they'll just be part of the mix, just like some of the other ones by then? It's not necessarily being having them being picked first.
Well, I mean, I guess it's going to turn into a popularity contest for the general public, right? To me, currently, and even if, let's say, Cypherium is actually the payment system, the crypto payment system that FedNow is going to use, or the blockchain they're going to use, who cares? Who cares about that, right? Only if you're into crypto do you care about that. The general public, they don't ever need to even hear the term Cypherium, right, for them to go on living their day-to-day lives. Like, it doesn't make any difference in your life. So people like us, we're the only ones who care about it. The banks are going to care because they're going to know this is how the money is being moved, and the players that are involved. XRP is going to be more popular because they've already established, I mean, I would imagine 100 times more connections to central banks and regular banks and BIS, right? And they sit on boards of literally everything. Ripple does. So you're more likely to hear XRP, and that may be more beneficial for the average person because they say, well, hey, how can I benefit from this XRP thing going around, or Ripple? So I that's kind of where I play it, right? We talk about it all the time like it's going to be a huge thing, but in reality, nobody's going to know about it. Nobody's going to talk about it because nobody cares, except for us, because we're nerds.
Yeah,
and we want to we weren't trying to make some money on this thing.
Yeah, very true. We will definitely talk about it. Cody Core, I do see you at the very, very bottom of the comments. Don't think I didn't see it. I want to welcome you, Cody Core. I know we're very, very well behind on some of the comments. I want to welcome Wayne Side as well. He says, dudes. Don't think I don't see it. No Coke, bro. Just getting fat. Juice K. Okay, how about this? So for every person that gives me crap about drinking Coke, I'll state this: how much alcohol do you drink? How many times do you get fast food? Am I supposed to believe that all the people in our audience is 100% goody two shoes who don't do anything? That's malarkey in itself. So I just want to point that out because I don't drink any alcohol, hardly ever. So for all the quote unquote bad habits I have about drinking soda pop, I think I made up for it and then some with everything else. Anyway, that's just me.
Hey, Max, that's okay because I guarantee you I'm drinking your share of alcohol that you're not drinking. So I'm making up for it.
Yeah, but I mean,
just to keep things square.
Yeah. And knowing that, how about this? I do drink a ton of water, and sometimes I get tired of just drinking water. But I know drink flavored water. Well, whatever. Let's see here. Max has a pound of sugar with his Coke daily. Jeez. Well, do you smoke, Coochie Boy? Do you get lots of fast food quite often? Do you consistently eat bacon? And come on. I mean, we're gonna point the finger. I'm just saying, I'm supposed to believe that everybody's perfect, and I'm not. Or vice versa. Anyway. All right, so let's get into a little bit more of what we have here. I want to break this down before we kick it over to what you have, Sean. And that is this right here. Maybe from now on, I'll just come on the show and just drink ice water or something. Anyway, again, part of the whole freedom of thought and freedom of expression or whatever.
Hey, Max,
people,
you
people
do
criticize
man.
no matter what. Yeah,
life is short, man. Life is short. Something's gonna get you. You might as well enjoy yourself.
Well, here's the thing. I do need to get. On a serious note, I do need to cut back on it because I mean, like I mentioned, the whole thing with my dad. He's type 2 diabetic. He can't be drinking Cokes. So, here we go. So here's the thing right here. Right. It says, how much does FedNow cost? And I know we got more about this whole ISO 222 outline, but this is good stuff. So I saw this and I said to myself, what about these particular fees and so on? So it says in early 2022, the Federal Reserve released pricing and fee details for their real-time settlement network. Because FedNow is government operated, it's mandated to break even and not turn a profit. A possible advantage of this is that FedNow may offer more competitive pricing than other payment systems, which encourages widespread adoption at a faster rate. Now, okay, that sounds great, right? We want the whole thing of, let's face it, the Cypherium or some of these other ones, like XRP. I know that this is not, FedNow doesn't recognize XRP officially, but my thing is, some of these terms here, widespread adoption at a faster rate. And when I think payment systems, my thing, Sean, is why the heck don't they recognize, or not recognize, but like officially just come out and say, you know what, Ripple, Ripple's so tied into everything else. You're going to recognize Cypherium, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to bash Cypherium. I think Cypherium is great, but if we're going to go with this whole term of widespread adoption, to me, you get more of that widespread adoption through the likes of Ripple's XRP and so on. I mean, where are you at with this? I mean, I saw this and I was like, competitive pricing than other payment systems encourages widespread adoption at a faster rate.
Yeah, so I don't know where they get that from. How else is the Fed going to move money, right? So and maybe different central banks might use their own rail. But to me, I think they pretty much use what is standard. And yeah, of course, they use a lot of places will use Swift, but that is the only. I think that's the only way you can move it. There's no other way to transfer money, country to country, other than the Swift system. You have to use it. Now, the payment rail that you actually use is different. Remember, Swift is just messaging. So them saying they're going to have to be competitive to beat out competitors in the payment system. I don't really understand what that really means. Where is their competitor? Who's their competitor? That's I don't think I've read that one, so I haven't had time to really digest it. But yeah, that doesn't really make any sense to me.
It's a lot to digest, right?
Yeah,
just like it's a lot to digest. What? My Coke. That's right. But this is not Coke. It's actually Birch root beer in a Coke container. Anyway, because I went to the. You want to hear something kind of funny? I actually went through a liquor store drive-through to get that, but I didn't order any liquor anyway. But anyway, thank you for all that, everybody. I want to welcome Mr. Ricky Tiffy, aka Ricky Tiffy, man, who probably doesn't drink as much Coke as me, but that's okay. But yes, if anything, I will read this from Rain. You know what the problem is? Ethereum, what its use case had when you had XRP, any other coin of ISO complains that they had use case. That is the benefit coin must have benefit. Okay, I get where you're coming from. Okay, Brian. I get where he's coming from though. All right, Summer Flood states, gonna drink some Coke and hang out with Cocaine Bear. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, when I eventually quit all of it, I'm just gonna quit the food that is associated with it. So like a greasy burger, pizza, stuff like that, because I'm always gonna want a Coke. So it's like, ugh. All right, so we did basically, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a deep. So I want to give a plug, if you will. I'm gonna do a deep dive, everybody, in regards to Relio Network, aka Rio. I'll put it this way: I've never made a request for any of you guys to watch any videos I do. Really, I don't. I mean, if you do, you do. I'll state this much: you love Crypto Talk Now, you're gonna want to watch my deep dive in regards to RAO, and there's a reason for it, and that's all I'm going to state in regards to that. I'm extremely bullish on it. Oh, you just want us to watch it for you? We can pump your base. Really? I can't remember. I forgot who it was who said that, but somebody stated that like a few months ago, that I only mentioned certain cryptos to pump my own bags. And actually, you know what? The guy said it for LCX. I don't even have LCX yet, so that's invalid. But anyway, guys, I'm telling you flat out, there's something to be said about this particular one, RIO. Anyway, be on the lookout for the deep dive. That has gone up to the top of the list for the queue for the deep dive. All right. So, Sean, do you happen to have a little bit more in regards to this? If not, I'm going to go ahead and get into this particular video in regards to Nelly Liang. I don't know if you have anything primed and ready. Or
yeah, I was just going to talk about the businesses that exist out there.
Sure. Let's go ahead and kick it into that. I'm going to just kind of save my spot real quick. You're just having avocado, banana, milk, and a lot of ice because God knows you don't eat a greasy burger and never have a Coke. That's okay. That sounds good, though. I do love avocado, but I do put it on a saltine cracker with some salt. Oh, Max, you're killing your arteries with the salt. Oh, that's why you look the way you do. Anyway, all right. Back to you, Sean.
Okay. So I and this is just a quick little piece here. So I have here a list of a bunch of companies, and a lot of these are Fortune 500 companies, and then companies around the world who also are compliant with the ISO standard. So this just goes to show you that it doesn't have to be a bank-to-bank transfer for the ISO to be used, because it's really just a data messaging system. And so these, like ABC, just some big ones here. Caterpillar, DuPont, right? These are massive companies, and a lot of times they can use this information from hub to hub, region to region in these companies, and they know that this data is a standardized form, so they can use it all over the place. They can also use it from one company to another, and their system is able to read it, right? And that's what's good about keeping everything standardized. So go back to what Richard Hart was saying, is that, you don't think that any company can go out there and, open source software and create their own, payment system and messaging. Yes, they can. That's the short answer. Yes, they could. But why would they? Why would every company go create their own version and not be able to communicate with everybody else? Like that makes zero sense. Just as in the ISO standard, doesn't make any sense for banks to have different messaging systems and different languages used, right? Everything has to be a standard so the world can talk to each other. And this goes to show you companies out there have this system as well, not just banks. And that is all.
No, it's fine. I mean, my thing is, I'm looking at some of this right here, and like this one right here, it says basically U.S. corporates that are users and / or service providers of ISO 222. That's a big, huge list. I mean, it's not like we just got I just hit F11 because I'm so used to doing it. Anyway, it's not just like, you have just a couple here, right? I mean,
No, no, companies
Shell.
like Shell, Starbucks,
Yeah,
Siemens. I mean,
geez.
these are obviously enormous companies, worldwide companies, and they use the standardization well just for messaging
I
and
love number
sending
88.
financial information as well.
I love number 88, Wall Street Systems. I mean, to me, that totally makes sense that they would use the ISO standard, right, for ISO 222 because they're moving a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know what Wall Street Systems is. I don't know if that's just a generic term or if that's an actual company name.
I mean, just off the surface, that's the way I look at it. I'm glad to see
Yeah.
IBM in that because obviously, I mean, they have quite a few blockchain, partnerships and so on. But yeah,
I mean, it's nice.
pretty
IKEA's
stuff.
in there, which is probably how they move their the instructions on how to build their crappy furniture.
I never been to an IKEA store, but my friends would always state it was actually a lot of fun to see how, you could pick stuff out and how it's made or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, if you're new to furniture, it's a good start, but it's not the best. And they're notorious for having horrible instructions on how to put it together. And so you always get that meme where you like a pile of sawdust and it's like, hey, I just got a Christmas tree from IKEA, because it's in a million pieces and you're probably going to missing a bolt or something along the way. I've put together some IKEA furniture. This is from experience.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know that it doesn't all come from like Sweden or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's get further back into the comments just for a brief bit. We do have some more for you guys. We're going to show you a particular interview with a lady that you may be aware of, maybe not. I don't know. Let me go ahead and remove this real quick. So we have no Coke Ran, LOL. Ran, no Coke, bro. Just getting fat juiced K. All right. Tim Shea says, nice, Ran. Had an avocado with some blueberries. We got a pretty healthy crowd of people here. All right, Crypto McDizzle, for shizzle. I've always had a hard time getting banks to cash my commission checks. All right. River's in the house. Good to have you here, River. Good evening, CTN fam. Yes, thank you for being here. Wayne Side, I think I welcomed you earlier. He's like, Southern Cal in the house, man. Yeah, Oceanside, bro. Catch up
Righteous,
the gnarly waves.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man. With Sean the Crypto Smith. Yeah. Hold on. It's good. Just one time a week. In regards to what? Oh, the fat juice. Okay. I get what you're saying. The Coke is your fat juice or something, or my fat juice. I don't know. Wayside also says, dude, it's like, serious up, man. Like, we're gonna, XRP to the moon, bro. ISO 222. I see you got something primed and ready. Sean's got something going on right now. Do you want me to launch it, bro?
No, I'm good. I'm just flipping through Twitter here.
Oh, you're just flipping through Twitter, man.
Yeah.
Sha. All right, to the moon with Cash Cats, Wayne Side, Sha. All right. Some people are just connecting. Like, are you guys serious right now? Like, what is this? H Bar Ninja states, yep, it took Chase Bank 2 effing weeks to clear my money for you. Yeah, they just love to take our money, but when we want the money, then
now if it was a CBDC, you'd have your money instantly.
Well, then there we go.
There's your benefit.
Yeah, but Mr. Klaus, never mind. All right. All right, so you got a group going on there. Okay, that's fine. Join his ISO 222 Facebook research group. Oh, okay, very cool. Wayne Side says the question is, do you have the right horses at the end of this race? Or in some cases, some people have all of the horses just in case, which is crazy. But
that is a good question, and I pose that to myself quite frequently because at the end of the day, we are all just guessing, right? We can do the research, right? We can seek out new information. We can get into some arguments or heated, debates with others who have different opinions. But at the end of the day, we don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how or when is XLM actually going to be used, because really it's not being used right now. Nobody's really even talking about it, right? So when is that going to happen? When is XRP going to fire off the first, salvo? Is Cypherium going to jump out ahead and really just surprise everybody? We don't know. Or are we wrong on all of it? And it just the price action really just doesn't benefit us, in the at least the, let's say, short to medium term. Maybe it's a much longer term process that we haven't even thought of yet, right? So, do we have the right horses? I hope so. I don't have a lot of time left on this planet. I hope to retire one day.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like we're playing with the devil. Mr. Klaus Schwab, maybe, I don't know. You cheated, Max. Yes. I guess you could say that. I mean, I don't know. Sparks root beer, but it's probably just as bad for me. I get it. Too much sugar. Who says that? Do you see Men in Black by any chance? The first one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You remember that one guy, the cockroach guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Something like, I came in here with a cat, and the cat's dead, and I need some sugar. That guy.
Yeah. What?
I don't know why I just mentioned that, but anyway.
Somebody said he looks like you're wearing what was the guy's name? Looks like you're wearing a whatever his name was suit. When he had his skin on.
Yeah, and he pulls it back. Yeah, that was kind of.
It looks like you're wearing an Edgar suit. That's what he says.
Yeah. All right. I don't know why I just busted out with that, but whatever. Soundmatter says Crypto McDizzle for Shizzle done just joined. Wow. Crypto McDizzle, we're gonna be more worried about bunkers than crypto with what's going on with Russia withdrawals from the nuclear treaty. Yeah, they're just lost their minds. I don't know. General Patton said a long time ago, why don't we just go in there and kick their right now? We're going to have to do it eventually anyway. Boy, was he right. Anyway, teach his own. Brian Dowie, as soon as two big institutions use it, or anyone that is ready will jump all over it. Why wait if they don't have to? I'll let you answer that. What do you think about that?
Well, two big institutions using whatever particular crypto you might be referring to.
Yeah, Cypherium or XRP or whatever.
Well, they're going to have to. All of this has to be orchestrated, right? So you're going to because you have sending and receiving. So if you have a CBDC in Palau, let's say, and Ripple is actively working with them on their CBDC and as a stable coin also, and then they want to be able to send money to another country and another country's central bank. Well, that other country has to be prepared for that, right? They have to have the systems in place. So there's going to have to be some coordination between a lot of different entities in order for this to really work. So I do understand if you have two very large, let's say you have the Bank of England, they get their stuff together. Or no, let's not even go CBDCs. Let's just go JP Morgan, right? They want to start moving money around, the crypto fashion, even though, obviously Diamond isn't a huge crypto fan, or at least that's what he states. But you're going to have some other institutions have that same standard, right? And they're going to have to be able to accept whatever it is you're sending. And if it's a bridge currency that we're talking about, like XRP, right? How are they utilizing XRP? How are they custody that? Do they have the means to turn around and sell it for, right? You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a lot of planning, I think, that's going to go along here. Not just one or two big companies use it, and then all of a sudden, we've got a bull run going.
Very true. All right. So I did see a super chat came in. I think it's from Mr. Salamander, XDC Commander. He says, God, drink Coca-Cola. All right. Let me just state this real quick, okay? Coca-Cola Classic, proud sponsor of Crypto Talk Now, mainly only for Maximus. Anyway, not really.
You get your own version.
I guess. I don't know. With 25% of the original sugar. I don't know. Not even that. Salamander states, drink Coca-Cola while building IKEA products. Cool. Please buy more XDC, XRP, and Quant. Yeah, I do definitely still need to get more. I'm actually happy with the amount of XRP I have. But everybody could use more Quant. Everybody could use more XDC. Technically speaking, even if I didn't buy more XDC, I'm cool with the amount I have. But Quant, not comfortable with what I have yet. I need to get to at least, in my opinion, 20. Then I'd be like, okay.
It's a solid number.
Good. Yeah, but in reality, Sean, I probably still will, keep DCAing. Like, I don't know if I'll ever stop DCAing into that. Maybe once it's like maybe like $1,000 a quant or something like that, probably. But in the meantime, while it's like in this range of 121, 125 to 140, 150, I'm still gonna DCA into it. But yeah, thank you so much, Salamander. Here's the thing, right? Everybody makes certain decisions in their life. I'm not going to be the type of person to just come here and say, here's what I'm going to do. My thing is this: I'm going to just do it. And I'm not going to even mention what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it. Yeah, that's just the way I look at it. Because I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Some people know the story, some people don't. Like, my attitude towards when I went to college, for instance, I went and did it. I became class valedictorian, and I didn't tell anybody that I was going to do that. My thing was like, you know what, put up or shut up. And so that was my thing. And then when my dad saw the thing and he was like, he read what do you call it? The program, I guess you could say, for graduation. And it mentioned that. He was like, he was like, this is BS. It says that you were class valedictorian. I was like, yeah, because I just made up my mind that I was going to do it. And he was just like, well, then why don't you make your mind up to lose a bunch of weight?
Damn.
Yeah. And I was just like,
cold.
oh, yeah. I'm like, can't you just be happy for me about it? I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah. Sometimes your parents, they expect a lot, right? They look at you and they expect a lot.
So that's the way I look at it. I mean, I the weight loss thing has been like, I used to be in amazing shape. Like, I used to have a really, I guess you could say, I don't know, I want to say like bodybuilder type thing, but I used to be really into weightlifting. I used to not have these, problems that, I don't really have health problems. I mean, I got sick from, what do you call it? Like food poisoning, stupid stuff, right? Like, eating bad fish. But overall, I don't really have like, really bad health problems. I'm overweight. But yeah, that was what it was. It was like my dad was just kind of like, I love the guy, kind of did a sweep to the leg right there with well, if you make up your mind like that, you should apply that towards weight loss. I was like, oh God. All right. Anyway, let's see where we're at. I think it's Brian Dowie's comment. Yes, it was. And I saw somebody say something about Liechtenstein. We're about hour 42 in it. I know we were trying to get things wrapped up. We will here in a bit. Brian Dowie states, Tim, I kicked out Caroline. She was still biting. My goodness. All right. KK states CBDC is the Antichrist. If somebody asked you that, like, hey, Sean, do you really think that CBDCs overall is the freaking Antichrist? What would you say?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to be that dramatic about it. I think, it can definitely be used for evil, but then again, the dollar can be used for evil as well. It's going to give the governments and banks, a little bit more control over what people spend money on eventually, right? Once we get through it,
right.
Probably in the next 10 years or so. But it's just the next wave of payments and money for civilization, right? And who knows what's going to be after that? It's not going to be the last iteration of money, right? There'll be a new one. There'll be another technology come down the road, 50 years from now or whatever, that, long after I'm gone. But yeah, it's just progress. That's what it is. Sometimes progress isn't always for the best, but you got to deal with it. And like I said, figure out how to benefit from it.
Yeah, very true. Cody Core says, nope, in my back pocket. Gold stamps. Really? Gold? Huh. Well, good to see you, Cody Core. I know I welcomed you earlier. Paul Rose says you can get a healthier version of Pop Max. Yeah, but in reality, I think, where does it end? I mean, in reality, where is it going to end? So then I do that. All right, Max, you could get a healthier version of bacon. Really? What am I going to do? Get turkey bacon? And then from there, just stop eating meat in general. And then I just eat nothing but rabbit food.
Well, I'll be honest. If somebody mentions
cereal,
turkey bacon to me in my house, I kick them out of my house. You get out of my house right now. There'll be no turkey bacon in this house.
somebody tried to serve. I don't know if it was turkey bacon or something. Vegetable bacon. There's such a thing as
Ooh,
that,
God.
and it looked like this is what I literally pictured in my head, and it literally smelled like this. And I know this is a weird smell. It smelled like a plunger, the rubber off of a plunger. And I was just like, I'm not eating that. That's what it reminded me of. It looked like it literally
used plunger.
I don't know about no, not that, but you know what I mean? Like the material, you know what I mean? That it reminded me of that. I was like, I'm not, you know, I'm not.
It's never a better version. It's never a better version. There is no other version than bacon, than regular pork bacon.
But it was vegetable, like vegetable bacon. Like,
but how can it? But it's not bacon. It's not, if it's not pork, it's not bacon.
Yeah, but you know, the person, this is a long time.
I know.
I mean,
look, I get in arguments all the time because I know a couple of vegans, and they love to claim how healthy they are, even though they're overweight. Both people I know that are vegans are fat. I say, well, how is it you're eating so healthy, but how are you overweight? I don't understand. Well, then you watch what they eat, because they think being vegan means you can eat all the French fries and chips you want, you know, and pastas. It's just it just blows my mind. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. And then from there, it's just, I mean, I don't know. We definitely went down a rabbit hole tonight with all this, but that's okay. Cash Cat says, "Good night, friends. Zero Dark 30 comes quick. Catch y'all next time." Yes, good to see you, Cash Cats. Thanks for being here, man. We have X Raggedy River XX is laughing. That's good. Coochie Boy, last time I mentioned Coke, it's okay, Coochie Boy. If I can't take some of what you guys say, then I shouldn't even done shows as many times as I have done from now. If that's the case, I wouldn't even made an online gaming community with my gaming group years ago. You know, shout out to DPG, 21 years. I could take it. It's all right. So, oh yeah, you sure about that, Max? Because you keep bringing back up the Coke topic. I don't know. Anyway, it's fine though, man. Let's see what he says. Last time I mentioned Coke, lol. A 20-ounce Coke has 2.5 cups of sugar in it. Sugar causes diabetes. Yes, I know what it causes. Yeah, and I don't have diabetes, thank God. Enjoy your Coke, Max. Well, I guess I won't be enjoying it too much longer anyway. Because that's my thing. My dad comes back. I don't even want it to be a temptation for him. He has short-term memory loss. He's going to forget. And I do want to try to, and I told him today, I was like, try to help yourself and me. And I'm totally aware of, like, I think the only one I like is Diet Mountain Dew. And I think there's another one. Maybe it's Diet Dr. Pepper. And that's about it. All the other ones, like Diet Coke, I think Diet Coke is nasty. Like, here's some Diet Coke and some vegetable bacon. Really?
Don't do that. Yeah. I'm a Diet Pepsi guy. I have one Diet Pepsi a day. But what's weird is that I would prefer to drink a Coke. If I have to have a regular Coke, I'll have a Coke and not a Pepsi, because I prefer the taste. But I prefer Diet Pepsi over Diet Coke. So it's kind of a weird mix. But yeah, one Diet Coke, and look at Diet Colas aren't exactly healthy for you either. So
yeah, I might just, I don't know, try to quit it altogether. Magic Power says Guten Tag, Guten Tag from Germany, Liechtenstein. Yes. Welcome back, Mr. Magic Power. All right, we're gonna read a few more comments, and then I think we're gonna show you guys this quick clip. 2 of them, and then after that, I think we will start to wrap things up. Unless you got a little bit more you want to share, Mr. Crypto Smith.
No, go for
it. You're welcome. Or hold on.
If you could put that Coke down for a second and get to some content.
It's not even Coke. It's like Barks root beer. But anyway, which is just as bad. All right. So Wayne side, where's my Crow family? Yeah, I hold Crow. I'm part of the Crow family. I've held Crow for the longest time. Crow was my 3rd best performer of the 2021, the last bull run. $1,700 investment, 10K. Pull it out just a few cents away from the all-time highs, and I got lucky with that one. But yeah, I feel as though Crow in a bull run, yeah, it will do great. I know I have to say not financial advice, but I mean, come on, it's reality. Yes, hey, Magic Power, Liechtenstein. Hey, Crypto Puppets in the house. Glad to see you, man. Half of crypto investors will sell and move on. I believe if you have diamond hand and hold long enough without greed, the reward will be greater than we can imagine. Yes, the reward will be actual real bacon and not vegetable bacon. All right. Magic Power. XRP is actually using 4 countries as bridge currency. One of them is Uruguay. Very cool. All right. We're going to play the particular clip I have for you guys. And I did share this on my Twitter before. But I want to share this with you guys. So this comes from Cyprus Demanicor. I guess that's, or Soar. I don't know. He says, LOL, people still won't research utility-driven crypto assets that will enhance our current outdated, fragmented financial infrastructure. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Quant, LCX, Casper. And if anything, let's go ahead and play this. You may be familiar with who this is. Maybe you're not. Doesn't matter. But yes, Nellie Liang, who is the United States Undersecretary of Treasury for Domestic Finance. Let's go ahead and play this. And we're back in a minute. Here we go.
You all want to hear something crazy? You know who Nellie Liang is, the United States Undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance? Why don't y'all take a second and just listen to what she has to say about the future of cryptocurrency? This is a Bank for International Settlements panel discussion that took place on the 9th of February, 2023. And listen to what Nellie Liang has to say about the future of cryptocurrencies.
Since we think the future value of crypto is for payments and not for speculative trading, the natural connection on
the future valuation of cryptocurrencies is for payments and not for speculative trading. That is literally coming from Nellie Liang, the United States Undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Payments. Don't get shaken out, ladies and gentlemen. Do your research.
All right.
You all want to hear something crazy?
So thank you once again to that guy for sharing it with us. Another super chat did come in. Let me see where we're at real quick. Hold on a second. Let me highlight. Hold on. I think it's, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound
Okay.
good.
All right. I'm just going to highlight Crypto Puppets. Actually, I guess I did read that. Hold on a second. Let me go further down. I think it's this one. Yeah. Didn't Binance just list XRP and Cardano? All right. So it is from Salamander, and it's a $2 super chat. Thanks, Salamander. Next time, Max, drink tequila and say, fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to come on screen with a big old giant, sombrero, and I'd be like, yo, hey, welcome to Crypto Talk Now. I am drinking this freaking tequila. Gonna get so freaking wasted and fuck you all. No, I'm not gonna do it.
That would be funny though if you did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what would also be kind of funny, Sean?
What's that?
Maybe Taco Tuesday tomorrow, you know what I mean? And I come on here and
You can't go wrong with tacos. I'll tell you right now.
yeah, well, but
I could do
again,
Taco Tuesday every day of the week.
it's the pairing, right? So if I have Taco Tuesday, I'm probably gonna want to have a Coke, right? So maybe I should just switch it to tequila and then find out where the heck you're at. Maybe you're on some random stream or something. And then come on with my sombrero and be like, hello, Sean, I got my tequila and my bean burrito with sour cream, and I'm going to put it all over your face. And you're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, that got weird.
Yeah, that got weird, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. Crypto Puppet says, sup, Tim? Everybody's saying hello to each other. We're about to wrap things up in just a little bit. We have one more clip we're going to play for you guys. It is from the lovely Denell Denton of Stellar. But I'm just going to read a few more comments. Salamander says, I wonder if Biden knows how to even use his credit card. Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, Tim Shea, who says, hey, bacon is good fat. You don't want to eat a pound and sit around all day, but if you are active, it is good for you. Good to know. Any thoughts on Safe Haven? Are you aware of Safe Haven?
I am not. I think I've heard of it, but I've not done any research on it.
I don't know what it is. Salamander, thanks again. You guys are getting that algorithm going on. Thank you for that. Crypto Puppet says, Mexican Coca-Cola is the best ever. Yeah, it is pretty good. Boomer's late. Could you start over, please? Yes. Well, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's be here for another couple hours. Hello, and if you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us at Crypto Talk Now. We are going to start the show over again. Why? Because Boomer effing Sooners in the house. No. Welcome, Boomer. Glad to have you here.
Way to be late there, Boomer.
Yes. All right. Good to see you, Boomer, though. Crypto Puppet. Everybody's having a good time for the most part, I guess. Now you guys all need a Coke. I wonder how many people will actually go out and buy a Coke or just crack open a Coke after tonight. Anyway, you need cake. See? We mentioned Coke, and then now we're on the topic of cake. So apparently, like when kids have their birthday parties, we should have. Never mind. Not going to go down that rabbit hole either. All right, Coochie Boy, am I just trying to live another 30 years? Yeah, you know what, though? I mean, we all could obviously have more healthier options. You know, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I don't know if it was with my dad or maybe it was with Larry. I mean, in reality, maybe it was both of them. And this goes for anybody, right? There is something to be said. Like, what's the point of me researching all this crypto and, you know, the ISOs and, you know, and I'm not going to be around to enjoy it all because of diabetes, you know, or whatever, right? Right? You know, am I too far off?
Well, then my family's going to be around. They're going to benefit from it.
Yeah, but you know, Wilford Brimley, diabetes. Yeah. I'm sure you remember those old commercials.
Oh yeah,
the infomercials.
He used to do the oatmeal commercial.
Yeah, he did.
Wilford Brimley.
Kung Tech Fu, he says, peace. Moral of the story today, Kung Tech Fu, and I hope you come back, even though you might be gone. And that is Coke and diabetes. All right. All right. Crypto Puppet states, Max, I want to lose weight. Check into semaglutide, FDA approved. Got family that lost over 100 pounds in about 1 year. Wow, awesome. No, if I put my mind to it, I'll lose weight. I've done it before. But I mean, like, really lose weight. Yeah, just, you know, it's mind over matter, man. But thank you very much. Semaglutide. I have to, you know, I'll probably just write that down. Kind of want to, that interests me all of a sudden. I just got to pull the same notepad for my crypto research. Semaglutide. All right.
Trust him, everybody. He's gonna get to it. Okay. It's on his list.
You want to know something, Sean? Let me tell you something, Mr. Crypto Smith. All right.
You can't put it on the list unless you're going to get to it.
I will get to it. And when I do get to it, people are going to be like, holy crap, he did get to it. So, yes. River states, I'm having a Coke right now because I'll talk about it. Yes. Hopefully you have a nice, I don't know, steak or burger or something to go with it, or pizza. I don't know. Boomer. All right, Boomer F is sooner. I'm having 0 sugar Coke. Now, of course, now, you know, shout out to Paula Rose and everybody else. See, Max, that's a healthier. I get it. I'm with you. All right. I didn't want to go a full 2 hours, but I'm going to show you guys this quick clip like I promised. I think I have, yeah, this is the last one. This is not going to take too long. This is only a minute. And then we'll wrap up the show. And thank you so much again to Crypto Smith. I said I don't want to go over 2 hours. And he was like, I don't know, Max. You're the guy who state you don't want to do a 4-hour show, and you end up doing a 4-hour show when it's on your own. But anyway, shout out to Mr. Van. You guys know who he is. Dressed up as a Spider-Man. He follows me. I follow him. Pretty cool stuff. Great content creator. He states, here's the update on the CBDC program on Stellar and the National Bank of Ukraine, NBU. Of course, we know about the whole thing with Stellar's new aid initiative with Ukraine. We also know about the whole thing with the CBDC of the digital e-hryvnia. Danielle Dixon and Head McCaleb, right? Actually, it should be like... well, I guess Head would be Jed McCaleb's. Anyway, let's go ahead and play this. It's only 1 minute and 11 seconds. And this is a somewhat new update. All right, here we go.
Okay, we're back to businessy questions. Danelle, this one is maybe for you. What's the update on the CBDCs in Ukraine?
Well, we're still working with them. We've talked a lot about, we're working with them to work on their digital asset infrastructure with the Ukrainian government. It's been just a really great partnership, and we're working also with others in the government to support what they need to think about from a digital asset infrastructure. I had the honor of meeting with President Zelensky this year, and I was just so impressed by how thoughtful they are about where they want to get to, because not everyone has the goal. That sometimes people put these small goals in front of themselves, but he has this really amazing goal about creating a cashless economy, and that's something that he's really committed to. He's hired a lot of the right people to be committed to. One of the things they're doing is really focused on bringing talent in and outside talent into their country, and also bringing a lot of focus on blockchain. And so from there, I feel like we're going to get to a place where I would love it if Ukraine was one of the first that actually issued a CBDC, but we're still working with them. It's a great relationship, and we're happy to have that partnership.
Cool. People are.
All right. So I wanted to share that. Just real quick before we close out, Sean, what did you think in regards to what Danelle mentioned in regards to, Stellar and CBDCs, and particularly Ukraine?
Well, I mean, it's good for if you're holding Stellar XLM. But what kind of caught me was they really want to go cashless, right? So what's then you have to look at what's the reasons, right? What's their motivation for going cashless? Is it going to be easier for them to control their people? Is that the reason? Or
I'm just looking at
what?
it's a war zone, because I did I did 2 videos on this. So I did one when I was just Maximus Crypto long before I joined up with Larry, right? My own private channel. And then of course I did another one, like a follow-up in regards to it. And so for one, I gathered in these war-torn countries and so on, physical cash like that, it's like they don't really want that. What they want is kind of like the whole crypto concept, right? The ones that are tied into some of these particular technologies, because again, it's kind of like the instant payment type thing, like what we're talking about earlier and so on. So to me, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And knowing that, I mean, some people will say, well, why don't they just use their native, I don't know, their native fiat? I always say fiat, but fiat. And it's like, well, what if they don't have access to that? You know what I mean? Like, what if Russian forces, for instance, seize those particular, I don't know, banks or something and whatnot? If you had something that was tied into blockchain technology to move the payments a lot faster, instantaneous, to me, that is a game changer. So, and how about this for size, right? So Ukraine, before the war, had the highest rate of crypto adoption, I guess, of any other country in the world. So the stats were basically 12% adoption for the country. Here in the United States at that time, you got to keep in mind, at that time it's different. So, was that, I guess, January or, February was technically the war, so 2022. So in January of 2022, the stats were 12% for the country for crypto adoption. For us in the United States, that was basically, I think, like 4-5% at the tops. Now, adoption is over 20% for the nation of Ukraine. That's huge. Huge. Anyway.
Yeah, and I did read an article where I believe like $70 million worth of assets, defense assets or offense, it depends on which side you're on, were purchased using crypto. So obviously, yeah, they're very crypto forward country, but the thing that bothers me, and it's, look at this, is going to be, everybody's personal opinion, but I think we know that the government of Ukraine is probably one of the most corrupt and has been, for a long time. Now that doesn't give Russia the right to invade and, cause a war over it, but that's why it's odd to me for them to come out and just say this, because I think, and KK says it very well, that it's really, I think for them, it's more about governmental control. And that's, what I mean? So it's not always going to be a great thing for the citizens to be able to use that. And then it all depends on, is this really a CBDC? Is this programmable? Or is this really just a digital version of their fiat currency?
Well, look, I see where you're coming from, because it's very consistent, right? Even Richard Common Sense Crypto mentions quite a bit. He don't like the whole thing with what's going on with Ukraine. I see where KK is coming from too. My answer to that, and this is not me trying to trump your guys' debate, but my answer to that is look at their adoption pre-war. And pre-war, I'm talking about just regular people, right? They have, anybody can look into this, right? So they have a lot of people from the educated, or from the education sector of Ukraine at the time, if you will, like, you know, their universities and so on. When we talk about the whole thing of like right now, if I want to go to like my local community college or maybe even some universities here locally, like, you know, ASU and so on, that's our local big state university. They now, of course, have, you know, classes for learn blockchain technology and so on. But if you look at Ukraine before the war and so on, they were like one of the top countries in Europe for specifically that, like the implementation, or I should say for crypto education, if you will. I'm just looking at it from, you know, a different point of view, like not even counting like, you know, the government people who, you know, and I get that debate of like, what's this being used for? Yeah, they want to control the people, but there's also something to be said about just regular people who, I guess you could say, not all of them are honest, right? But I mean, just regular people like us, right? But they happen to be Ukrainian, right? They have a significantly higher amount of just that, you know what I mean? The whole
we're
thing.
not. That wasn't the subject. Was the CBDCs, right? And that's a different animal. You know, having people interested in blockchain and all that, you know, prior to the war is fine, but that doesn't have anything to do with the CBDC and the reasoning behind it. So, I mean, ultimately, they're going to get what they're going to get, and unfortunately, and hopefully, maybe, you know, from what your point is, maybe the citizens there are going to be more wary about the control the CBDC has, or more aware of it than other countries might, especially with, you know, just like the U.S. I guarantee if they rolled out a CBDC, you know, you've got like exactly 16 people here who know what the hell it is and what they're trying to do with it, right? Most people have no clue what's going on because there's not that huge of an interest in cryptocurrencies and blockchain here just yet. And you know, I'm sure you're right that Ukraine's further ahead. I know South Korea is very well versed in crypto and blockchain, and they're definitely moving forward. Yeah, there's a lot of countries that are doing the same thing. I see what you're saying,
UAE,
but with the CBDC specifically, you know, I just don't think they have good things in mind.
Yeah, I think we can meet common ground overall. Yeah, on that. I'm gonna read a few more comments, and then we are going to wrap up the show. Thank you for, you know, everybody that joined us tonight. Please hit the like, and of course, I want to give Sean a plug for his channel one last time before we wrap things up. Salamander states, Max, if your pants still fit, don't lose weight. If your pants don't fit, then lose some weight. My pants still do fit, but I do want to, obviously, you know, we all could lose weight. Everybody could lose weight. Let's go further down. River, kids in bed, talk all you want. Mr. Man is the man. Yeah, I like Mr. Man. He's pretty good. Mr. Man does high level crypto kung fu.
Yes, he does. I had a conversation with him on Twitter, you know, just short, kind of a little back and forth. He wanted to know where I got my my avatar or my logo made for my channel.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Crypto Puppet, did you all cover Jasmine? No, we didn't cover that particular one tonight. But if you guys, well, you already saw Crypto Puppet. I saw you in the comments. I did 2 Jasmine videos today, and I did 1 yesterday. So that's 3 videos in 2 days. Not too bad.
And you know what? That you're throwing off my schedule with that, because that was going to be my next video was Jasmine, and I'm like, okay, now I have to have a couple days in between. I can't just do one right after yours.
That's fine. Do whatever you want, man. Do whatever you want. Whatever time you want. There's no restrictions. I'm not the type of guy who's like, you know, now listen here, Sean, you little son of a gun. You don't freaking put out this darn Jasmine crypto update.
Well, we're just going to see how many views you get. And I guess we'll see how many views I get, and we'll just have a competition.
Go back to Boise, bomb. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. No, there's no problem like that. All right, Crypto Puppet, or is it, or it goes to the moon or burns crypto hell, Jasmine. Yeah. Bullish on Jasmine. Everybody is. So looking to Cypherium. Yeah, with a C though. This is how we pronounce it. So CYPHER. I don't know.
IUM.
Cipher. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at how China controlled their people. Very true. Also Russia, North Korea. North Korea is probably the most extreme though. If you actually had to think about it, like if you had to pick one that's probably the most extreme. The most isolated,
North Korea by far.
Yeah, by far. Yeah. Knowing that, like their officials are looked at upon as being gods, or at least they train the people to do that. I think most of the people there know that they're not, but if they speak out of line, they get punished or go to one of these camps or whatever. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we did talk about that earlier. Sorry guys, if I skip over any particular comment, it's not on purpose. You could do whatever you like, brother. Well, thank you very much. I do need to make some changes, though. I really do want to make some changes, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to make it like an announcement on Twitter and all that type of stuff. I'm just going to do it. If I do it, I do it, and you guys will see on camera the changes, I guess you could say, if it happens and when it happens. But I'm not going to hold myself to making it happen like tonight. But, you know. All right, so hold on a second. I'm going to read this. KK says, great Jasmine videos, great solid project. Well, thank you very much. Jasmine's going to rug. You're going to rug, Mr. Cody Core. I'm going to reach through this darn camera, and I'm going to remove that darn beanie and that headset, and then you're going to get rugged on this show. No, I'm kidding. It could. Who knows? I mean, but the way I look at it is with them releasing more of that particular supply, I think there's more that's going to be released. Was it Q4? I think we're at bottom, man. But I do respect your opinion. And here we at. Yeah, that's under what I paid for. It could go further down, and you know that's the power of the DCA. All right, rug to the moon. No way. All right, but we're for soon. Can we talk about our feeling? Oh, geez. Well. If you want to talk about your feelings, I'll give an endorsement to Sonia, who is Waddy's wife, and you can talk about your mental health and all that on her particular show, which I have to remember what the name of that show is. Anyway, shout out to her, shout out to Waddy, and last but not least, I'm putting in a plug right now for the Crypto Smith. Please, by all means, if you're new here, and if you haven't done so already, unless you just hate Sean, you're like, you know what, Max, forget freaking Sean. I ain't gonna subscribe to his dang channel. The Crypto Smith. He ain't forging nothing. Anyway, there he is.
I get a few of those.
Yeah, you do? Really?
Yeah. There's some people who don't like me.
Yeah. They're like, go back to Jersey, you bum. Anyway, here he is, the Crypto Smith. So the Space Crypto Smith. And he talks about, for instance, XRP, XLM, Optimus.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
No. All that crap is gone.
Yeah, like you don't talk about Terram anymore. At least I don't think you do. Cypherium, obviously. He does some other particular video. Obviously, MMII. Let's see what some of the recent ones. Sorry about that. I should just click on that. But yeah, some of the latest ones are Corium, right? Check out. That's off to a pretty good start. Next layer 1 blockbuster. It's Corium. How about this? Give us a preview. I know you wanted to do a Jasmine video, but give us a preview. What? How about this? Yeah. What do you want to talk about in regards to Jasmine?
I'm not sufficiently versed yet to give a valid opinion.
Oh, come on.
So you're gonna have to wait for the video.
Just come out with a news update.
Well, actually, I have a question for you because you said, did you just say that they were releasing more supply?
So there was an update in regards to somebody asked. I think it was like, the remaining supplies that are going to get released in the fourth quarter of this year. The remaining amount is supposed to be. This is the word on the Jasmine Street. No pun intended. That yes, the remaining supply, because right now it's at 95%.
I was just going to say there can't be much left because there's already almost 48 billion in circulating supply.
So the okay, so shout out to Crypto Puppet, right? He's like, did you guys cover the Jasmine or whoever else? So here's your little brief Jasmine update. So word on the Jasmine Street is the remaining bit, and it's just a bit, let's face it, of that, I guess would be 5%, will be released by Q4 of this year. And that's been pretty consistent. Unless I'm missing something, I've seen multiple sources, multiple people in the comments, I can see on Twitter and so on, have stated that. I might double check in with Zippy. By all means, check out some of his content on Twitter. He does Twitter Spaces every Sunday at 3:30 Mountain Time. But yeah, that's been pretty consistent. And right now, I mean, even if it wasn't consistent, let's say like that was all malarkey, Sean, we're already at 95%.
Yeah. I don't see an issue. I don't see an issue with that at all.
No,
I think that's fine.
Well, there's your answer. So, all right. Crypto Puppet says you'll check out your channel, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Unless he's going to be like me and just, have a whole big list of research and just not do it.
He's got a max list.
I got a max list. All right. So Maximum Max is awesome. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. I'm going to put that on my yacht rug pull. Jeez. All right. You guys have great questions, but we are going to wrap it up. Actually, hold on, just real quick. Magic Power total circulating supply is 47.57 billion, which is 95.15% of max supply. Remaining coins 2.4 billion. Incentive 30 million. Ecosystem. Very cool. Zippy from the corner store. Jeez. Jasmine Gun and Rugs. Japan will never allow this. Well, some people say, well, they already did, but you can say a lot of things. I personally feel that we're at the bottom for Jasmine, and this is the perfect entry point, not financial advice, but this entry point is a heck of a lot better than people that came into Jasmine at $4.50, $5, right? Right. Guys, it's been a great show. I'll give the last word to Sean, our co-host of the night for Utility Talk Now. Take it away, Sean.
I appreciate being here, Max. I really do. I enjoy the time we spend discussing these many different important subjects in crypto. Ending on the ISO 222 standard out there, don't get too carried away with what it is and how it makes everything so important. It's just a messaging standard, right? But it also points to utility. So you want to look at your projects that you're going to put your hard-earned money into and see what is it actually going to be used for. Is it already being used somewhere? Like XRP obviously is connected to many different banks and financial institutions. XLM is doing the same thing. So Ethereum's also building those networks and relationships. But you have to really look at real world use case and try to minimize the meme tokens and degen plays right now, because they're not going to come off very well, I think, until we get another bull run, right? You guys watch. We get another bull run, the meme tokens are going to go through the roof again, unless we have real regulations that extend, cross borders, because obviously they can come out in every other country, and you can still get rug pulled in Germany.
Yeah.
So take that for whatever it is. That's not financial advice. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if you saw this, but a judge came out in this whole NBA Top Shot NFT thing where he said the NFTs were basically securities. He also stated that using emojis in your messages, like the rocket ship and the chart with the red up line on it and a money bag, can also be construed as financial advice.
No, please.
That's a real thing. Yeah.
Please, man. Talking about no. First of all, as
no
you know, core content creators, we're not allowed to have freedom of thought, because people will be like, "Well, you said this. Oh my god,"
Now it could be challenged. Obviously, it's not an official law, so it's just something that judge happened to consider, which I thought was really, really stupid.
So freedom of thought has already been threatened as content creators, and then on top of that, First Amendment rights, right? God, where's this thing end?
Craziness.
Yeah, it's just just this real quick. Judge Gensler. Yeah, well, he just, has the right to completely rewrite the Constitution according to how he sees it fit and rule with his iron fist. Screw that, man.
Well, what's nice, and a lot of people don't realize, whatever Gary Gensler says is his opinion, right? These things have to be checked out in court. If he wants to rule things as securities, they can fight back, and he's going to have to prove it in court and have a judge agree with him. So it could be a very long road to hopefully we get some sort of regulation that can overcome all of this nonsense and get it over with in the next year or two.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, we'll leave you guys with that. You guys have some great comments. Thank you very much, Tim, Miguel, Brian Dowie, GS, all you guys. Really appreciate you guys being here tonight. Tune in again tomorrow. I'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for a traditional, regular type show and so on. I want to state this real quick. I was debating on doing it tonight, but I was like, we're already 2 hours and 19 minutes. Not going to do it. But I'm just going to be honest. I'm really excited about this whole thing with the game show. And so hopefully we have everybody show up. Maybe, Sean, are you going to be there for Wednesday?
Yeah, I should be. Should have no problem.
Because we do need a minimum of 3 people to make it just right. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a variety game show. It's, CTN Cryptivia is the name I came up with. It's a variety game show. The first round, I know people are like, I thought you guys were going to end the show. Just real quick. The first round is basically like a Jeopardy format. It's all crypto related questions. And the second round, I believe, and I could switch this up. It's like, Wheel of Fortune. I think third round is like a Family Feud style, but this is not some just cheap thing that's just like, oh man, you just got this off of some random. I didn't want to do it that way. Like I really, it's nice. It's kind of like polished, if you will. I'm just really, really looking forward to. I think it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna give you guys a nice break from what you normally do. And how about this? For all the people who are like, well, as long as there's audience interaction, that's where it's at. I promise you there's lots of audience interaction because you will be able to play in the game. There's going to be team captains. So, for instance, Sean will have like 4 or 5 people on his team. Because in reality, let's say we have 40 people here, right? Maybe we'll have more. That'd be great. But let's say it was just 40. We can't believe that everybody that's part of the audience is going to be in the game or whatever, right? So realistically speaking, like Sean, you'll have like maybe 4 or 5 people on your team, Waddy and so on, Larry and so on. There's going to be moments in which they have this. There's this one particular thing. Like let's say you're in the lead, Sean. You'll get this particular question. It's not like a daily double, but it'll say pump or dump, right? And so then the audience has to put in a little thing that says, should Sean pump or should he dump? And what's going to happen is you have the choice at that time to dump the question onto like Waddy, right? And so Waddy will have to answer the question. And if he gets it right, he takes all of that, like let's say it's 1,000 points or whatever. But yeah, it's called pump or, pump. Should you pump or should you dump? The audience basically has to vote on that. And the majority, of course, you go with it and so on. And it shows, of course, the little, it's literally a pile of poo, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
It's a nice poo emoji. It's nothing disgusting. Originally, it was going to be disgusting. We had a picture of Patches. I had Larry do this. He took a picture of Patches in his backyard taking a dump. And then I saw that picture. And I was like, I don't know, man. This might like deter people. So it's just a nice little poo emoji. It's going to be a really fun thing. We test a little bit, of it, like me, Larry, and his nephew. It was really, really, it was fun. So I'm really looking forward to this. I delayed it many times. I just didn't want to be like a Russa Saitama moment where like, oh yeah, it's going to come out on this particular day. But it's going to be really cool. And, Larry already tested it out a little bit with the phone. So it's really easy and everybody will be able to do that. And then it keeps track. So for instance, like let's say there's Tim Shea and he's in the lead because why wouldn't he be in the lead, right? So you'll be able to track and we'll show a scoreboard. Everybody will have where they can compete against other people, right? So like you have Tim Shea's got like 1,000 points or wherever else. And of course there'll be teams, but for the nights that like Sean is not here and some of the other guys, we'll have like random questions and then you can still compete with each other and so on. It's gonna be a real cool continuous thing that we'll have. I'm just really super excited about it. So I just want to give you guys kind of a little breakdown.
Okay. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. I know there's other comments, but again, that was just kind of extended coverage. Sean's channel, you want to tell him real quick before we go?
Yeah, it's the CryptoSmith. What is it? I don't even remember.
I'll pull it up one more time.
You might want to pull it up. I don't.
That's all right. You don't even know the name of your own channel.
I don't. Yeah, okay. I don't know the name of my own channel.
There it is for you guys. Sean the CryptoSmith. It's just the space CryptoSmith, or you can just type in at the CryptoSmith, and it takes you right to him. And he's about to get not too far away from 2,000 subs. That's not too bad, Sean.
I'm gaining. We're gaining slowly. But come, any of you guys who don't know, come check out my live stream on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. and we talk about you know, a lot of kind of the same thing, a lot of things in crypto, not necessarily ISO tokens, but a lot of crypto stuff. And then, you know, we get have fun in the comments, you know, a lot of back and forth. And then, oh, one more thing, go to ctnnetwork.net and sign up.
Yes, I know. I didn't even give us a plug.
Yeah,
I bet Larry's like, you didn't even plug us one single time, Max. Shame on you. Fired. Get out of here. All right. Yeah. Let me pull that up real quick. Well, why don't you guys just keep the show going? You guys said we are going to end it like, you know, 25 minutes ago, but here you are. Yeah, I know. Here we go. Let's go ahead and present that real quick. Thank you, Sean, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna get fired, but anyway. All right, so here it is. CTN Network .net. Actually, you could just go to, if you're wondering what the URL is. Where is the URL? There we go. Oh, that's kind of weird. They just chopped it off like that. Strange. Anyway, there it is, ctnnetwork.net. And then when you're there, you can check out, for instance, go to, you know, make sure you register, go click on a community. Here's the thing, all right? Larry wanted me to point this out, and I want to point this out to you guys. I'm looking right at you guys real quick, for real. We don't want this to be a thing where, and it's flattering, right? But we don't want it to be like the old website where it's like, I'm mainly doing this because I think Max and Larry are cool, and those, you know, those guys are my bros or homies or whatever you want to call it, right? I'm a fan of them. I'm just gonna do it for them. That's not the objective we're trying to do here. We're trying to make this particular website be, you know, like this saying goes, like your one-stop shop. So we already have like the utility for other content creators, like you just saw Waddy right there on that particular card. You see Sean, there's Daniel Gate and stuff like that. But on top of that, we have forums. So I do need to make like a pin comment, but here's the thing. So for some of you guys don't use Twitter, right? And that's fine. But you can go to the CTN website, and it doesn't take a lot. You just, you know, make with your email, and you're pretty much done. But you can go there. You can send a direct message to myself, Larry, whoever. Any questions you have direct access to us, basically. Also, I believe it's tomorrow, we're going to introduce a call-in feature. So we've been talking about this for a while as well, where you can call in and you can have, for instance, a specific question, or if you want to actually literally like a traditional radio show, you can call in and hit the green button. Of course, we'll show you this probably tomorrow, unless Larry doesn't want to do it tomorrow. But yeah, you can call in and you can actually be featured either on just your voice or on video or both. With a specific question. I mean, for the most part, try to keep it on topic. You know, don't come in here and be like, "How you doing?" or something. You know, nothing like that. But yeah, it's on the website. And then the part where it says games, I mean, that's obviously referring to the Cryptivia, CTN Cryptivia. We might just actually take that off for now, but thank you so much, Sean, for that. And yeah, the main thing is the forums, to go there and share, like, you know, let's say you have a particular project. Instead of me writing down notes, you can actually bring the project to the forums, post about it, why you're so gung-ho about it, and so on. And that way we can see it and other people can see it, not just me. And, you know, if anything, it would be a nice, you know, community-driven site, not just like, oh, I'm just doing this for Max and Larry. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I mean, there's a lot of other people featured there. I mean, there's Sean's card, for instance, and then you can click on that and take you straight to it. Yeah. So thanks for pointing that out, Sean. We are finally going to wrap up the show. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like Miguel, Crypto Puppet, all you guys, Kushu Boy. Thank you so much. This is us.
Thank you all.
Concluding the show finally. And stay tuned tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. There will be more recorded content. I believe either out tonight or tomorrow morning. So be out on the lookout for that. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Night, everyone. Appreciate you showing up.